Hello, hi, hello everybody. I'm very happy to see all of you. So, really quick, I want to see a roll call. Everybody that is here, you know what I want to hear. You know what I want to hear from you. I want to hear a collective yes, chef. So, are we all here today? I'm happy to see you. Hello, my little Sioux champs. Hello to you as well, Jack. Hello to Audio Murphy. Hello, Dr. Slowbro. Hello, Aleem. Hello, Squirrel. Hello, hello, hello. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I like seeing this. Nice collective yes, chef. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday evening. Oh, look at this. Excellent. I'm really happy to see this. It's like I have a little cult. I have a little cult, and that's all of you guys comprising it. Welcome. I'm pretty excited for today's stream. I hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday. Tell me about some of your days, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. It is nice to see so many familiar faces. I am pretty excited for today's stream. We have to talk about what we're making. So we have a couple of dishes. I've recently tried to get a little bit more invested into some Korean cooking. Also, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I really, really want to get more invested into Korean food because it is my ongoing mission to be able to make Korean food a little bit cheaper at home. Especially in New York City, going out for Korean food is really, really expensive, and I want to bring some of that comfort and some of that flavor into the home setting and to try to do my best recreation of that normally. However, today I'm going to be doing my own take on a dish to better adapt it into my home setting and to, I think, also elevate it. So we'll talk about what we're doing. We are going to be making a chicken stew that's called Dakdoritang. And typically, you would use some chicken wings and chicken thighs. And then you would cook the whole thing in some water, and you would boil it, and you would do that. And I said, nope, that's just not going to be happening. We are going to be making our own chicken broth. We're going to sear the chicken. It's going to be excellent. And for that, instead of working with just a collection of chicken wings and thighs that cost way too much, I have instead, my friends, this bad boy right here. I have a whole chicken. And we're going to break it down. We're going to use everything. We're going to make crispy chicken skin too. We're not going to throw away the skin like we usually do. We're going to make some really nice crispy chicken skin when we get to it. We're going to take all the bones, make a beautiful stock out of it. Okay? We're going to take all the flesh off, and it's going to be incredible. This stew is filled with gochujang. It's filled with gochugaru, which is, of course, your foundational, fundamental Korean flavors. Get a load of this guy. Look at him. He's hanging around. Gochujang and gochugaru, which are a fermented chili paste, and then also a chili powder. Also, Kai, thank you so much for the sub, much appreciated. Did I not get a notification for that? Twitch? Why did I not get a notification? Huh, it's weird. I don't know if something is down with it. But anyways, get a load of this guy. We're gonna break him down. We're going to use every single last part on him minus the head. I don't really know what to do that. And it's going to be excellent. And then I'm also going to be throwing in some cilantro. Is that my pet? That would have been the most fucking tragic pet I would have ever owned. So I don't think so. Okay, we're going to be throwing in some cilantro into this. This is not a traditional addition, but I think it'd be a very lovely accompaniment. And then we're also going to make a Korean spicy cucumber salad called Muchim. Muchim, something like that. And it's basically going to be cucumbers and more of the Korean chili powder, or the chili flakes, rather, the gochugaru. It's going to have some sesame oil, it's going to have some soy sauce, and it's also going to have some cilantro, so it's going to be really, really tasty. It's going to be really acidic. I love cucumber salads, and I'm also thinking we'll make some rice. So, get a load of this guy. This is the last time we'll see him until we get rid of his head. So, get one last look at him. Excellent. And now, I'm going to show you guys how to debone a whole chicken. And I need to talk to you really quickly about why I love working with whole chickens. I love working with whole chickens because the cost is always going to be a little bit less than if you were to just get thighs and breasts. You can trim it up the way that you want. Oftentimes, let's say you want a bone-in, skin-on chicken thigh. Most supermarkets, they have bone-out, skinless chicken thighs. Let's say you want a skin-on, bone-out chicken thigh, that doesn't exist. It's usually boneless and skinless. Okay, so I really like working with a whole chicken for that reason, because it gives us a lot of control. Okay, and then we get all the bones that we're able to make a really beautiful stock out of as well. So it's really, really efficient. So we have to make the stock, we'll sear off all the bits of meat, and we'll make this delicious spice powder, the spice paste, filled with soy sauce and gochujang and gochugaru. And it's going to be excellent. We also have some potatoes going into the stew. Where did I buy a whole chicken? This was from my local Chinese supermarket. Oh, I'm glad that this can be a cozy stream for you. So we're going to use all of this. We're not going to waste anything. Fuck Gordon Ramsay? That's right. We don't like Gordon Ramsay here. Get him out of here. Kai, it's lovely to have you, by the way. So let's get started. First step, we got to make sure that this chicken is a little bit less clunky to work with. The feet are going to go into the stew itself, into the stock, excuse me, because the feet are full of bones and of course they're really, really collagen-y, right? So they make for excellent, excellent stock material. And so here's what I do. I take this bad boy, okay? We're going to go around the joint, but first we're going to snap it. We're going to snap the foot, okay, at the leg. And you can see where the joint is. And we're never slicing through bone. All that we're going to do, we're going to swirl around it, and we're going to find where we can make a little incision and go between the joint, go between the two bones. So you see this opening that we've created? All we're going to do is just slide around it all, just like so. Slide around it, and you will never have to cut through bone if you do it like this. And perfect. Guess what? That is one chicken leg, or one chicken foot rather. You've got the voice for it? Thank you. That's very sweet of you. And we're going to cut the nails off. The nails are no good. You don't really want to find a piece of that in your stock. So we're going to cut that off in just a second. So let's do the same exact thing to this other foot. We're going to take the joint. We're going to snap it a little bit because it makes our life so much easier. And then we just make some incisions around it. Okay? Make some incisions, and then it just pops right out. Butchery is really easy. You're just following the joints themselves. You're never really cutting through bone, okay? We can just pull that right out. Actually, that's just a nice long tendon it's connected to, okay? And then we're going to get rid of this little thing on the wing. There's like a little plasticky bit here that tells us where it comes from. So I'm just going to snip this off. And off it goes into the trash. Let's get this off. And then I'm going to just quickly process these chicken feet. So here's what we do. We just go in there and we cut these nails off. Okay? That's all. You don't want to find a nail in your stock. It's quite unpleasant. Also looks kind of gross. Right? Off it all comes. Sometimes if you get the right angle, you never really have to cut through bone too much. And there we go. That is one chicken foot nicely cleaned up. Let's do the other one simultaneously. Chicken feet are fantastic to make stocks with. They will give you a really rich, proteiny, meaty stock. And so the reason I'm doing this recipe with a whole chicken is because I'm philosophically opposed to buying pieces of a chicken. They're too expensive, and I love having bones to always make a nice supply of fresh stock with. Okay? So that is one chicken foot, two chicken feet that have been fully cleaned up. Nice and easy. We detached them, we got the tendons out, and they will make for a lovely stock. Now, we have to work on this bad boy. So, here's what we have to do. We need to get rid of this neck. The neck will also be going into the stock, and it's going to make it a little bit uncomfortable for us to sort of butcher the chicken if we didn't take this out, because it just takes up a lot of space. So all we're doing is we're squaring the skin. We're going all the way around it. We're making sure it's as separated from everything else as possible. And then you don't really want to cut through this as much as you do just want to snap it off. And then it'll show you. Do I cook with the organs as well? This case, this chicken didn't come with any organs on the inside. I'm not sure why. So we got the neck and the head off. We're going to just move this carcass again. And I'm going to cut the head off. I don't really want to make a stock out of it. This is just going to go. We're just going to cut the skin all the way around. But this one didn't actually come with the organs. And it's kind of weird to cook with chicken organs because you don't really get enough of each organ to make anything out of it. In that case, I just like buying like a box of them at a time. But we're going to get rid of the head. And now we have this beautiful neck. That's right. He's out of it. This and this are going to be some excellent foundations for the stock. Okay? Now, back to this. Here's what we're going to do, my friends. First step. We're going to get the legs off this to make it a little bit easier. You know what? No, we're going to first get the wings off. I lied. We're going to get the wings off. I'm going to show you how we do this. So we take the wing. You want to lay this down breast side down, back side up. Okay? And again, we're never cutting through bone. All we're doing, we're just going around where the wing meets the back of it. And then look at this. It's already coming apart. We've separated the wing from the rest of the breast. It's just that easy. And then you just slice through the joint, and guess what, my friends? That's already one wing. Perfect. Let's do the other wing. Something about Sephiroth and One Wing Angel. Yes, I do love chicken livers. They're one of my favorites. I love chicken heart especially. So, once again, we make that same incision, we pop out the wing, and off it comes. Look at that. Guys, we're never cutting through bone. Breaking down a chicken doesn't have to be intimidating. The most difficult part, I think, is the breast, because there we have to get some fancy knife maneuvers. Otherwise, look how easy this was. Okay, and then we're gonna do something. We're gonna break this down even more. So you see this? This is the wingtip. All you wanna do is you wanna break the wingtip, just like so, just like how we did the chicken feet against the legs. Okay, and then off it comes. And this is gonna go into the stock. Then we have the wing, the entirety of the wing. We have two sections of it. If you've ever eaten chicken wings, well, it's time to learn about it. This is the flat. The flat has two bones going this way. This is the drum. It's basically a very tiny chicken leg. Also, hello, Blue Streak Sonic. Hope you're having a good day today. Okay, so all we're going to do, we're going to try to cut this in half where the joint is. We can just snap it in half like this. Makes it really nice and easy. Look at that. And off comes the flat, or rather the flat and the drum. Perfect. And this right here is going to go into the stock as well, because the wing tip itself doesn't really have a lot of edible parts on it. Right? It's mostly collagen and bone. We're going to do the same exact thing to this wing. Take it, we're going to snap it on the wingtip. We're going to cut off the wingtip. Come on, buddy. Off you go. Off you go. You don't want to be here. I don't want you there. Same to you, I hope. Thank you. It's very sweet of you. Okay. Come on. This one's a little bit more stubborn today, but that's okay. That's the wingtip. Off it goes. Okay. Where's my other wingtip? Oh, there it is. And then we're going to take the flat and the drum. We're going to snap it in half like this, and then follow the bones, and off the whole thing comes. Beautiful. And this is all going to go into the stew itself. The wings look perfectly edible and delicious. Now, it's time for us to separate the legs. You ready for this? I'm going to show you. It's really, really easy. So, articulation snapping, but I'm trying to get used to it. Oh, you mean like the tendons? I'm going to show you guys how to take off the legs. It's really, really simple. First mistake that people make. They make the first incision too close to the breast skin. When you do that, your breast skin really shrinks up and it gets too small. You want to make an incision as close to the leg as possible. I'm not slicing into the leg, but where I'm making the first incision is as close to it as possible. Right? Beautiful. And you can see the leg already trying to separate. Then we go around it all. We go around it all. And sometimes it snaps a little bit easier than others. We can take the leg and we can effectively pop it out. And all we're doing now, we're just slicing. We're slicing along the back of it and getting the whole thing out, my friends. This, however, we don't want. That's not something that we want in this. Come on, off it goes. It just comes off, nice and easy. It separates, it tells you where it wants to go, okay? Just follow the movements. It's really, really intuitive stuff. And look at that, my friends, a whole leg. Perfect. Let's do the same to the other side. We're going to make a little incision as close to the leg as possible. We're going to slice that skin. We're going to take it back here. Make sure you slice enough of the skin that you can easily do this. Come on, buddy. And we're going to pop it out. We're going to effectively pop it out, just like this. Okay? Pop it out, and off, all of it will come. Perfect. Okay? It just wants to come out. Just follow the lines, follow the grooves, and there you go. That's another chicken leg. And now we have to break this down one more time because we don't want whole chicken legs going into the stew. I'm going to show you what we do. Okay? You take your chicken. Now, you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to snap the leg from the thigh. You don't have to do anything crazy like that. It's really easy. I've demonstrated this a million times, and I'm going to keep demonstrating it. I'm going to keep showing you this. Look at this line. Look at this fat line. You see this fat line? It's really, really subtle. Look at this fat line. Slice. Actually, that was the least easy time I've ever had doing this. Uh-oh. What happened to me? Slice. Did I follow the wrong fat line? Is it over? Did my one trick finally not work? No, I think it worked just fine. This is the most difficulty I've ever had doing this. Gasp. It's fine. It comes apart. It's okay. Don't overthink it. And you see this skin? We're going to make crispy chicken skin out of it. We're going to take it all off in a little bit. But we need to separate this because we don't want massive legs in a stew. All right, let's try this one more time. We'll take this line. We'll follow it down the middle. Oh no. I wonder why I'm having so much difficulty with this today. I've never had that much difficulty. Is it over? Is the dream dead? It's fine. Okay, there we go. Now we got it off. That's a thigh. It's a very lean thigh. Yeah, I don't know. This fat line was not very present in this chicken. That's okay. So guess what? We have the legs, we have the thighs, nicely separated. And then we have all of the bits of the wings as well. Okay, beautiful. Let's scoop that up. And now the final step is going to be taking off the breast meat. So, it's kind of difficult because you have the carcass that's a little bit in the way. So I'm gonna just take this, I'm gonna smash it down like this. It's going to create a slightly more stable surface for us to work on. Then you're going to find the breastbone that's going right down the middle, and all you're going to do is make an incision on either side of it. We're going to start with the right breast, right? So we're going down. I'm just making an incision. I'm not cutting all the way through. And then we make a horizontal cut. And then if you do it like this, you should theoretically be able to easily, with some amount of ease, pull away this breast that just comes off. A lot of chicken butchery is just about following the natural lines that pop up, following the natural lines that appear. All right? But at the moment, I just need to get this breast off. Look at that. Off it comes. And we're separating the breast from the tender. Grinding Sonic and Smash with your stream on? Well, I'm happy to hear it. Okay. And off, all of this will go. Just like that. Minimizing the amount of waste. Nice and easy. Perfect. Get a load of this guy. That is one perfect little chicken breast. And then we can do the same thing to the thigh. All we're doing, we're going, not the thigh, excuse me, the tender. We're taking the finger, we're separating the tender itself from the breastplate, I guess. And we're trying our best to get this all off in one big piece. Okay? One big old collective piece. Let's see if it does that. And it does. We just have to slice it off from here now. Perfect. Look at this tender. Nice. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. I have to do the same exact thing to the other side. This is, in my opinion, the trickiest part of breaking down a chicken. And it wasn't so bad, was it? Aw, I'm so sorry, Jack. I'm sorry to hear it. Okay, we make an incision. We're leaving the breast behind because it's a lot easier to pull off the breast from the tender. So we leave it behind, we separate it, we get it out of there, and then we just slice the whole thing off. Okay? Off it all comes. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. Let me just slice that. There we go. That's one breast. And then we'll get this final tender off. Take our thumb, we get it in there. We'll peel it off the bone here. And off it comes. That's the next tender. And that, my friends, is a chicken carcass perfect for your stock. Okay? That's the carcass. This right here is the neck and the feet, as well as the wingtips. And this is what is going to give us a beautiful stock. So let's go ahead and get over to the stock pot right now. Now, I will constantly advocate. I will always, always, always advocate and push for a pressure cooker when it comes to making stock at home. And the reason for this, the reason I say this is because Pressure cooker just gets the job done a lot quicker. Okay? It doesn't make necessarily the clearest stocks, but it gets the job done quite fast. So in what would be normally 3 hours of cooking, in 50 minutes of high pressure, I can make a very delicious, very rich stock. So we take all these bones, all of it. It's all going into the pressure cooker pot. Okay? And then we're going to fill it up with a couple of other things. I'm going to show you what we do right now. Let's head to the stove. Kind of. There's some broths that are better suited for a non-pressure cooker, but I really like pressure cooker for bone broths like this. I want something really intense. I'm going to throw a couple of things in here. First thing I'm going to do, some cilantro, because I want to get rid of cilantro and I want a cilantro broth. Okay, it's going to give it some really nice flavor. Not too much. Don't go too crazy with it. Next, I'm going to just throw in a couple of garlic cloves. Skin on. All of this is going to get thrown away. Okay, not too much, because we're still going to have plenty of garlic in the dish. And then I have some more leftover chicken broth from a different time right here. That's going to get poured in. Okay? I wanted to use up some chicken stock. It's nice to just fortify it with even more that I have. And it's going to get really intense. I want something very viscous. I want something really gelatinous. I want something very bony and it's just going to make a very delicious stock, my friends. Also, grab salt. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Okay, so that's done. And guess what? That is it that we need for the pressure cooker. Now we have to set this onto high pressure. We have to fill it up with water. We're going to give it a couple of liters of water. Fill it up, and it's going to go on high pressure for 50 minutes. So I'm getting that done right now. This I want to get done ahead of time. I like getting done in advance, just so that it's going, and then we'll have it ready for the stew when we need it. Okay, yeah, that's about a couple of liters of water. Make sure that you're wiping off the edges of a pressure cooker, okay? You don't want it to be too wet on the sides, because then it stops it from building pressure correctly. And I'm going to throw it right in. 50 minutes of high pressure. And that's it, my friends. It's going in now. And pressure cooker is really, really nice. So we have to talk about why a pressure cooker even works to begin with. A pressure cooker works because water, okay, boils at a higher temperature in high pressure situations than it were to be at normal, regular pressure. What does this mean? What does that mean? Okay, water in a way is self-cooling. When water boils, it evaporates. And it's never really able to get past the point of 100 degrees Celsius, right? The boiling temperature of water. In a high pressure situation, you're taking that boiling point, you're taking that boiling temperature, and it's increasing by however many degrees. Basically, at higher levels of pressure, the higher the boiling temperature is. So as a result, we're able to get water to be hotter than it would be possible on a normal stove. Okay? And as a result, under those high pressure situations, in that high pressure atmosphere, it's able to cook a lot faster. And that's why it's really expedited. And I love doing this for beans, I love doing this for stocks, and that is why pressure cookers work to begin with. Okay, they raise the boiling point of water, and it keeps everything in that way. So, let's talk about the chicken again. I'm gonna go ahead and glove up, and we have to take the skin off of it now, because we're gonna make crispy chicken skin later. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna take the skin off of all of it. I'm gonna explain to you why right now. I'm glad that I can help out. Daily sales pitch, listen, if a pressure cooker company wants to sponsor me, I'm your guy. So, in this recipe, traditionally, you would only see, to my understanding, either legs or wings just be used. And you always see it skin on. Now, I have an issue. I personally have an issue with skin-on pieces of chicken in a stew. How many times have you had a piece of skin-on chicken in a stew, okay, and you bite into it, and the skin on the outside, it's just gummy. It's not crispy because it's in a fucking stew, and it's just gummy, and it's just chewy, and you're like, why is this here? Why am I eating this? It's just boiled skin. Now, you wouldn't necessarily want to waste it. You don't want to always just like throw this away. But to me, it does absolutely nothing. And instead, what I would rather do is I would just take the skin off now and I would cook it a little bit separately. There have been times where I've been lazy and I didn't do this because it's a little bit more traditional to keep it on. But honestly, I really, really prefer a product that doesn't have a skin for the stews. And this is where I'm deviating from tradition. I'm using a whole chicken, right, which already isn't traditional for this kind of stew, and I'm taking the skin off and I'm gonna do something else with it. And when I'm able to separate these kinds of things, I'm able to give it a lot of love. I'm able to create a better stew that is devoid of any of that gummy, overly chewy chicken skin, and I'm also able to get this really fun, delicious byproduct in the form of crispy chicken skin. So it's just a win-win situation if you think about it. I'm gonna lay this out flat, and we're gonna go through each breast and do this, okay? It just comes off nice and easy. Just take it all off it goes. Sweet. This is not traditional, but I think it's optimal. And that's why I'm okay with deviating from tradition. I'm able to get a better product this way. Okay? And now look at this. We have 2 skinless breasts right here. Okay? Boom. Next, let's do the thighs. The thighs are also going to be quite easy. Because the thighs, all you need to do, you just get in there and then it just pulls off. Skin doesn't really want to stay on that much. Just the fat that does. So let's try to find a nice incision point that we can go in. Great, right here is good. And then just rip it all off. Rip it off. Look at that, thigh skin. Also, Max Payne, thank you so much for the sub. Now, is something going on with my alerts today? I haven't been getting them. Guys, I'm so sorry about my lack of alerts. I don't know what this is. It's not muted, it's just not popping up today. I'm really, really sorry. I should probably look into that and why that's happening, because I couldn't tell you. I'm really sorry about this. Just getting all that off of me and off of my face. I missed having Natalie here because she would help to get the hair off of my face. Again, we're going through each thigh and we're getting, help. And we're just getting the skin off one by one. Off it goes. Sweet. And this way, we're also stopping the stew from getting overly fatty because the skin under it is oftentimes quite a bit of fat. Yeah, well, I'm glad that I can help out, Cactus. I'm glad that I can inspire you. And now we're gonna do something I don't really do, which is how do I take the skin off of a leg? And I think because of the fact that it circles it, you have to first make an incision like this. You have to actually do that so that it then has a chance to peel off. And when I do it like that, I'm able to get a nice skinless leg, it looks like. And then off it all goes. Perfect. Skinless leg. My hair is falling in my face. There is no worse fate than this, guys. Is it over? It might be over. Okay, we'll spread that out in a second. So here's what we'll do. We'll go back in here. We'll make an incision here. And then we'll separate the skin from the leg. All right, break time. Last 3 games. How's that prep going? It's going pretty good. It's going fantastic. Take that skin off. Off it all goes. Perfect. Another leg. Skinned. Both of them now. Right, this is very lean chicken. This might be a rooster. I don't know. Now, these are going to be quite tricky because the drums were the drums of the wings. I don't really see them deskinned. Guys, okay, I'm taking off my gloves. I'm getting some new gloves in a second. I'm going to fix my hair because this is a problem and this needs to stop right now. What is my favorite meat to cook with? Pork belly has been up there as of late. I do love cooking with pork belly. I love working with chorizo as well. And if not, then I gotta say chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are so forgiving and they can make you some really delicious stuff. Okay, my hair has been fixed. If this falls in front of my face one more time, I will be very upset though. How do I take the skin off of a wing? There's a reason why people don't do this, because they're small. And it's kind of hard to take the skin off of something that's small, okay? So let's figure this out now. Here's the wing, or at least one part of it. The skin goes all the way around it seems. So we're gonna have to make an incision somewhere. And there's not that much meat on it, so it's really protecting it. It's doing a good job of protecting it. So let's find out, is this going to do the job that I'm looking for? Maybe if I just score it all the way around like this, will I be able to get that skin off? Or is this even worth it? Why do I not use a hair tie? I don't like how I look with a ponytail. Okay. I got some of the skin. I just really don't want to pull off any of the meat of the wing. That is the one thing I'm trying to avoid in this process, and I ended up, no, I think I avoided doing so. Yeah, no, I don't like how I look with a ponytail, and thus I've avoided it. Oh, this is a bit of a challenge. This skin, as opposed to the other cuts, doesn't want to come off nearly as easily. So maybe we actually intentionally leave this one on. That's where I'm at the moment. But maybe we should just not give up. Let's just keep trying this. It's a little slippery. And it would fall apart in the stew. Maybe we don't deskin this one. Because look at it, right? We've just taken off a chunk of the meat trying to do this. But we did get it off. That one I'm not going to be able to even crisp up. This might not be worth it. We might be... I don't think it's worth it to do this for this. In this case, we might actually intentionally leave these on. And then what about the flats? You know what? Maybe we don't fuck with the wings. Maybe we don't fuck with the skin on the wings. At least we got rid of it on the breast and the thighs and the legs. Okay, so we'll have plenty of crispy chicken skin to make. But I don't think this will go too well. Let me just try it with one of the wings, though. So let's try to make a little incision right here along the side of it. Again, I'm experimenting. I don't think I've necessarily seen anybody try to de-skin one of these before. Okay? Because a lot of what people eat on, like, let's say, like a buffalo wing is the skin. It's really nice and crispy. It's fried naked in oil so that the skin itself gets super, super crispy and you're not really eating any cooked flour. I hate breaded buffalo wings. I hate it. The chicken skin itself, it fries up so well. I hate them. Okay. Let's see. Can this come off? And the answer is, it really does not want to. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep giving this a shot. It is stuck on. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's fucking stuck. So maybe we just leave it alone. It doesn't want to come off, and we've just poked a hole in it. Okay, I don't think the flats and the wings are worth it. The wings, so what? They'll have a little bit of skin. It'll be okay. Okay, my friends, take a look. This is a fully broken down chicken. These are the wings. This is the leg. This is the thigh. Okay? These are the breasts. Right here, these bad boys. We have a nice collection of skin as well that we'll throw into an oven and try to get it nice and crispy. Okay? And then we also have some tenders. Now, let me tell you about this. When you're working with a whole chicken stew, whenever you're making any kind of whole chicken stew, you need to keep something in mind. All of these parts, they cook a little bit differently. Specifically, the breasts cook the most different out of everything else. Okay? The breasts are not the ones that like braising. The thighs, the wings, everything else, they like braising. The tenders and the breasts themselves, unless you're shredding it, they don't like braising. So here's what we do. We're going to first sear these. We're going to get some color on it. It's not traditional. Usually, this is a completely boiled dish, but we're going to get some caramelization on it. The breasts, we're actually going to add in last into this dish. Everything else is going to boil so that the tenders and the thighs and the legs and the wings, they get really nice and soft, but the breasts themselves, they won't get dry. So we add them in last. And one thing we're going to do really quickly, I'm going to just cut these breasts down into a slightly smaller piece so that they're slightly more manageable. Something like this, okay? So we get 2 halves of the breast. Boop. Excellent. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up my station. Let me go ahead and take a second to do all that. Throw that away. Off it goes, my chicken nails. Let us clean up for a second, so that we can go ahead and proceed with everything else. Hi, is everybody following? Let's go ahead and quickly do a recap before I clean up. So, what did we do? We broke down a whole chicken. We used all of its bones, the backbone, the neck, the feet, and the wingtips, alongside some cilantro and garlic, and we're making a very nice, intense, concentrated stock out of it. Then we broke down all the pieces. We're gonna be using an entire chicken for the stew. Both legs, both thighs, the wings that have been split up, and the breasts and tenders. All of it is gonna go into the stew. Then we have to actually make the paste for the stew, which is gonna be soy sauce, it's gonna be some gochujang, it's gonna be some gochugaru, it's gonna be really nice and spicy. We have to chop up a bunch of garlic, a bunch of aromatics, so we'll get to all of that now. And then we'll make a nice little cucumber salad. And then we'll also wash up some rice. So we're just at the beginning of the process. All we've done the preliminary prep work on the chicken itself. So let me go ahead and get this away and throw this into the fridge. What spices will I use for the stew? I'm gonna show you right now. This right here, one of the most fundamental things in Korean cooking. This is called gochugaru. These are red chili flakes. These are Korean red chili flakes. We'll also have some black pepper. And then another key component is gonna be this, gochujang, Jack. This is Korean chili paste. It's fermented. It's really, really delicious stuff. And this is everywhere in Korean food. It is absolutely everywhere. So those are gonna be the predominant fundamental flavors of what we, that is us, we, will be doing today. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this meat. I'm gonna pop it back in the fridge for just a second, just so that it gets off of my counter. And here's what we need to do. The chicken is going to, after it gets seared, we're going to mix in the paste that we're making, okay? And the paste, let me tell you what it's gonna be composed of. The paste is gonna be some soy sauce, it's gonna be some garlic, it's gonna be some gochujang, and it's gonna be some gochugaru, okay? As well as a bunch of black pepper. And we're going to coat the meat in that after it cooks. So we'll make the spice paste first, and then toss the meat in that, and then throw it into the pot, okay? Glad we're on the same page. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a second to clean some stuff up. And in fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wash my knife. Do you guys mind if I wash my knife? Do you guys mind that? If no, then I wanna hear the no chef. If you do mind, keep it to yourself. Sounds amazing. Well, I'm glad I can provide. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. No, Jack, I saw a no. Jack, I wanna see a no chef. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanna see. You doing great? Aw, thank you. That's very sweet. That's what I'm trying to do here. I like hearing no chef and I like hearing yes chef, okay? You guys know this by now, but I'm gonna keep asking it from you every time. Fuels my ego. Okay. My knife has now officially been washed up. I can go ahead and just get that dried off. Perfect. You lost me halfway through, chef. Oh no. I forgot what I was saying. I apologize. I'm gonna throw this into the dishwasher now because everybody remember, one of the most fundamental rules of cooking at home, clean as you go. You don't have a dishwasher, a dedicated dishwasher at home unless you have that kind of money, okay? Clean as you go, and you'll thank yourself later. My streamer is an egomaniac. Yes, I am. Is that a problem? I don't think so. Okay, so let's talk about the spice paste that we're making. First step, and it's gonna be really, really simple. The ratios are gonna be really simple, okay? It is quite literally, so I don't normally love ratios or like very specific recipes or anything. In this case, this is my first time making this dish and I'm not doing it traditionally, I'm doing it my way. So I'm gonna try to make sure I'm sticking with the ratios on this one, the classic ones, okay? And so the idea is you want a 1/4 cup of gochujang, you want a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, you want a 1/4 cup of gochugaru, and you want a bunch of garlic as well. And we'll chop up the garlic separately. Now, you guys hear that beeping? That's the pressure cooker telling us that it is now officially cooking. So let's get a jump start on everything else. Soy sauce. I have both light soy sauce and dark soy sauce. And I'm going to do about 1/8 of a cup of each. Okay? I'm just doing this measurement just so that I have a good idea of what I'm doing. This was light soy sauce. And guys, let me tell you something right now. For those of you that are unaccustomed to cooking Asian food or don't come from like an Asian background, there's so many different kinds of soy sauces that are specific to different cultures. They all taste somewhat different. Different levels of saltiness, different levels of fermentation. Sometimes other things are added to them. Light soy sauce and dark soy sauce, that differentiation is often made in Chinese cooking. What's the biggest difference? You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to taste them both raw. I'm going to taste both of these raw, and I'm going to tell you live what the differences are to my palate. Okay? Let's have a little taste. Ready? Light soy sauce. In a way, it's almost really, really watery. You're getting more than anything. It's very light. I know that's not very helpful, but if anything, it tastes somewhat oceanic. The light soy sauce tastes almost oceanic in terms of the saltiness that it has. And this actual soy flavor itself is a little bit more subtle. And then if I were to take a little taste of the dark soy sauce, you can already see that the color is a lot deeper. It's like solid black, right? That tastes so much more fermented. That tastes funky. It's not necessarily more salty, but it has a deeper flavor to it. Okay? And I'm using basically a combination of the two, right, to get a total quarter cup of soy sauce. Right? So just right there, these two are wildly different products. I think dark soy sauce is delicious. It's really, really good. And so, if you ever go to like a Western supermarket and you look at the actual differences in the soy sauces that they have, it's not a lot. Yes, yeah, well, there you go. You've said it yourself. Now, people say they only add dark soy sauce for color, but I don't believe that. I actually taste a very, very big difference between the two. When you go to a Western supermarket, they don't do different soy sauces justice. You have like these generic, like shitty brands, like I have still a bottle of this. Organic Shoyu. This is probably a Japanese style soy sauce. This isn't necessarily good for all kinds of cooking, okay? Because each of these soy sauces are so different. And then there's also a Filipino soy sauce, right here. They're all slightly different products. Kikkoman is a Japanese soy sauce. That's also a Japanese soy sauce, okay? So, quarter cup of soy sauce goes in. Yes, Jack, you're absolutely right. It does have more salt. Jack, thank you. You're really coming in clutch today. So, we gotta get some gochujang in there. So the gochujang, once again, guys, this is one of the most important tastes, flavors in Korean cooking. This stuff right here. It's really, really spicy. It's really delicious. Okay? I'm just gonna fold it up. And we're gonna go ahead and spoon this out. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. We'll get about a quarter cup of that going in. I'm gonna just lightly measure this out. And this is gonna be a very spicy stew today, all right? So we're using a lot of this. Also, I think one of my hairs got in. Don't worry about that. Don't pay that any mind. Don't think about it. And I'm keeping the lid, this plasticky lid, I'm keeping it intentionally on it. Okay? That is actually just about a quarter cup of gochujang. Okay, this doesn't have to be too precise. We're not baking here. We're not doing anything like that. This is just so that we have some nice approximations. Okay? That's going inside. Just mixing it up, and then we're just scraping out the rest of it so we don't waste any. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back into the fridge. We won't need any more gochujang. So that's about that. And then we're going to need some of the red pepper flakes themselves, not just the paste. So gochujang is the paste and gochugaru is the flakes themselves. Okay? We're going to do about, I want to do a little less than a quarter cup for something like this. Probably just like 2 of these big old spoons. Maybe 3. A little less than a quarter cup because I think we'll have plenty of heat. This is a fairly spicy stew. I don't want to go overboard with it. Okay? That's just straight chili flakes, my friends. And this is what we're going to toss the chicken in. But first, we're also going to get some garlic in this. Let's get all that out. Get that done, get that squared away. It smells wonderful at the moment. But let me tell you, That's gonna burn your fucking face off, all right? So be wary of something like this. Ah, no, you've fallen in and you couldn't get up. Well, actually you did get up just fine. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the dishwasher. Did it fall in? I heard it slide. I heard it slide. Okay, just giving that the quickest little rinse that I possibly can. Boop. Throwing that in. Moving along. And now we gotta get some garlic done. You can get a very tiny cooking spatula. Those do exist. No, they're not overkill. I recommend having a bunch of different spatulas of different sizes. And I don't have one because that quarter cup is super, super tiny. Okay? So, spoon. That's in there. Let me see. Now, we gotta get some garlic done. So garlic, as usual, I love doing it in my garlic press. Okay? I don't really care for chopping up garlic, especially because we're gonna be doing a minced garlic at the moment. So here's what we're gonna do. Bench scraper. Then, garlic press. Again, I love the garlic press. I love it. It is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. And then I'm gonna get a little shitty knife. I'm gonna show you what we do, my friends. First step, we're gonna break all of this apart. We use the bench scraper to get a nice flat surface, just like this. And you're gonna smash all of it down. Smash it. All of it. Okay, all this garlic is gonna go into the stew. Then I'm gonna glove up because this is where it gets sticky and I really don't like having the feeling of sticky garlic on my fingers. I don't mind the smell. Okay. Why Adam Ragusa bad? Good question. I think he treats cooking like a chore and he's a little bit careless. And I don't like how much he's rushing through to get done with things and just fucks around. And he's such like he's an avid technique hater. He hates it and doesn't really embrace it. Okay? I don't like him for that reason. So my friends, look at that. Gloves on, getting rid of all that skin. But I do like some of the interviews that he does. I think his interviews can actually be quite valuable. I don't love the recipes that he showcases. In fact, he just kind of butchers some things. And I'm using butchering in a bad way, not like the way we did with the chicken. The chicken we butchered beautifully. All right. Let's get all the skin off this garlic off. Boop. Just pop it out, nice and easy. And all of this is gonna go in, okay? Korean cooking is full of a lot of big flavors, a lot of scallion, a lot of garlic, a lot of gochujang, a lot of gochugaru. These are the bases of it. Don't sleep on it, all right? Now, I should have actually smashed this a little harder because then the skin comes off that much easier. Okay, when you smash it, the skin just separates from the flesh of the garlic. Makes your life a lot easier, I promise. All right, just take it off, just like that, pops out, nice and easy. I kind of like his content when he strays away from food or just like food adjacent things. Yes, I do too. And in fact, I've learned a lot about him from his podcast. So I'm not as much of a hater as I used to be. And because I don't want to be, you know, a little too parasocial about it, I just wish he cooked with a little bit more love and a little bit more care. And he slowed down and he would actually try to learn or improve on something instead of just being like, okay, I'm gonna do this my way because I don't like, I don't want to put in the effort in to do it another way. Okay, and I feel like that just describes his cooking a lot. I'm like a younger Marco Pierre White. Thank you. Except I don't think I'm verbally abusive. In fact, unlike Marco Pierre White, I actually know what I'm talking about. Marco Pierre White is the biggest sellout. It's a little bit tragedy. It's a little bit of a tragedy. If you ever go on Marco Pierre White, like if you just search him up on YouTube, you get to see like all of his infamous like Knorr stockpot sponsored videos where you see the chef, right? This once titan of UK cooking, the guy that really, really pushed a lot of British cuisine, okay? Into now where he is just a spokesperson for selling some really shitty sponsored products. He's not, it's pretty sad. It's really, really tragic to witness. Okay, look at all this garlic. You see this garlic? That's a lot of garlic. Here's what we're gonna do, my friends. Directly into the bowl. Okay, you know what? I've had enough of this spoon. I think I'm just gonna go do away with it. It's done. I don't want to even think about it anymore. Garlic press. Joshua Weissman is too contenty for me. He makes TikTok content. He makes TikTok content for kids, and it feels that way. I don't like his challenges. I don't like his food concept videos. I'm sure he's a great cook and he can make some delicious tasting food, but I miss the old Weissman. I miss the old Joshua Weissman. I miss the Joshua Weissman that taught me how to make the best cookies I've ever made. That's the Weissman that I miss. And we'll never get that Weissman again because it's not profitable. And I hope to never become that. I hope to never become content man. I want to keep teaching you guys how to make food at home. And guys, speaking of which, garlic presses. I fucking love garlic presses. Some people hate on them. They don't understand what they're talking about. Garlic presses are great. Chopping garlic on a cutting board is so inefficient and it gets so sticky and uncomfortable, especially because of how many cloves we have to go through. Man, it's the best. That's right. All this garlic going in. All of it. Actually, maybe we'll save some of it. We'll see. Respect your elders. Audio Murphy, elders that deserve to be respected will get respected. Okay, you know what? That actually just might be enough for now. Is that enough? Let's think. I think that's enough garlic. I think that's enough garlic. But I do actually need to grab one more plate because we'll need some garlic for the cucumber salad. We won't need nearly as much. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. And then over here, I'm gonna dump in the garlic for the salad later on while we have the garlic press out. How am I holding up? I'm doing great. Get that all in there. Get all that in there. That is a shit ton of garlic, but you know what? I love it, and you're gonna love it too. It's gonna be awesome. And now we have to sear the chicken itself. We gotta talk about a Dutch oven, but we'll do a little recap in a second. Okay, that's why we have this little knife ready. I don't like using a nice knife for this so it doesn't scrape against the metal. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this out. It's gonna take a second of my time and save me a lot of trouble later. Do not let a garlic press sit with garlic inside of it. You will get a bunch of dried garlic that'll be impossible to dig out later. So do that now. Do that step now, okay? Aw, thank you, Candy Flips. That's very sweet of you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Very kind. Okay, guess what? Chili paste, done. Garlic, done. Let's have a little recap session. Let's talk about this. So here's what happened. Stock is going in the pressure cooker. We broke down a whole chicken. We made the paste that we're gonna toss the chicken in, and we also got some garlic that we need for the cucumber salad in a little bit as well, okay? Ugh, moving my hair around. We have to sear the chicken. We have to get some good color on it. Then we have to toss it into the paste. We gotta peel up some potatoes, peel up and chop up some onions, and it's all gonna go into the stew later on, okay? Happy to hear it. And then we can work on the other components. So, let's head to the stove. I like doing these recaps just in case anybody joins in. Have these, you know what? I'm gonna do a little poll right now. Have these recaps been helpful for you? Have they helped you catch up? I would love to know. Good, I'm glad. Is it getting, if it ever gets too repetitive, please let me know. Oh, great, I'm happy to hear it. So, let's talk about a Dutch oven. Let me talk to you right now. This is the #1 most misused piece of kitchen equipment. That might be hyperbole, but it does not matter. Most people don't know what they're doing with these things. So everybody, we need to follow a golden rule right now. Do not, under any circumstance, preheat an empty enameled pan. Do not preheat an empty clad pan, meaning it has different layers of metal. This is an enameled pan. This is an enameled Dutch oven. If you care about the coating and you want to preserve it and make it last for a long time, you never ever want to heat these things up with nothing in them. You need either oil or water in it to make sure that you don't get any hot spots that then damage the enamel. People, oh, you know what bothers me? Let me tell you what bothers me. People, they take their Dutch ovens and they crank it up onto the max heat with nothing in it, and then they put oil in. That is how you get a ruined coating over time. Look at this thing. Do you guys have any idea how many times I've used this thing since getting it? Quite a bit. Look at it, spotless, and just as non-stick as the day I got it. Take care of your tools. You're not dishwashing this, and you're not cranking the heat up on it. So here's what we do. A little bit of avocado oil, a little bit. This is more so for the sake of the pan than the chicken, because the chicken has plenty of its own fat. Okay, and the fat is going to lubricate it. Mine's certainly not clean like that. Well, let me tell you, because when you heat things that way and you preserve that non-stick coating, the non-stick really helps it to clean off that easily too. That's all. That's all. And keeping it nice and clean, and we're not cranking the heat up on it. Avocado oil, a little bit. We just need enough to kind of coat the bottom. There's going to be plenty of fat going into the stew. Okay? This helps to evenly conduct the heat, and we're going to just take a second to spread it around. Now, the number one mistake people also make with these is they put the heat up on too high. This is an enameled pan. You don't want to damage the coating on the outside. You don't want to unevenly heat the enamel. Just heat this oil medium and slow. Medium heat and slow. You don't want flames coming up the sides of it. That's a mistake, okay? This. You don't want this shit. You want nice medium heat, and it'll get nice and hot. Just give it time. Give it the time. And only wooden spoons. Yes, absolutely. I see people use metal tongs on these. I see people use metal whisks. What are you doing? Stop it. Cut it out. Don't do that. Do not do that under any circumstance. Okay? Please, I'm begging you. For me. For a little guy like me. You wouldn't do that to a little guy like me, would you? You wouldn't. That's what I thought. Okay. Really quickly, while that's going, I'm also going to go ahead and grate a bunch of black pepper in here. Freshly ground as always. We never do pre-ground black pepper here. And don't worry about salt. There's going to be plenty of salt going into this dish from the soy sauce. Okay? Heard. Ah, that's great. Love the fact that people are saying that now. Plenty of black pepper. We want flavor in this. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get my spoon. I'm going to mix all the garlic and pepper. And look at this thing. Doesn't this look beautiful and full of flavor? I think it looks fantastic. We're going to toss the meat in this after it's done. So, we need to talk about something really quickly, okay? Why am I doing this step like this? Why am I doing this recipe like this? Well, if you were to look at traditional interpretations of this dish, and you were to look at the way that they do it, all they do is they boil the meat. They toss the meat in the spice paste, and then they boil it. And I think that's a mistake. I think that's a genuine mistake. You're missing out on a lot of flavor that way. You know why? Well, this is a very basic concept. This is something that a lot of you will know. But I'm going to say this only once and only once. I hate using this term because it gets misused all the time. The Maillard reaction does build flavor. What does that mean? Well, a steak that has a proper crust, that has a proper sear, has more flavor than if you were to just boil a steak, than if you were to just steam a steak. That browning is flavor. And when we're browning the chicken, we're not only browning the exterior of the chicken, we're also developing a lot of burnt bits on the bottom called fond, or rather stuck bits of protein on the bottom called fond. And that fond then gets dissolved into the rest of the stew. Now, you don't have to. You can do this the traditional way, which is where you just toss it in this and then boil it. But I think searing it is going to give it a lot more depth of flavor. We are effectively transforming this recipe. This dish is done with water and chicken that doesn't get seared at all. And the way we're really upping the flavor is by making this homemade chicken stock, by searing all of these bits of chicken to get some really good proper color on it. Okay, and then we're also adding some cilantro at the end because I think it'd be an excellent fit, and I want to get rid of some excess cilantro I have. So we've done a lot of steps to really transform this. Okay, here's what we do, my friends. Let's head back to the stove. I'm going to go ahead and take out the chicken. That's just been chilling out in the fridge, quite literally. Okay? And again, guys, whenever I buy chicken from the store, anytime that you buy meat from the supermarket, you need to listen to me right now. You need to listen. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take it out of the package. You're going to wipe it down with paper towels. You're going to put it on a plate. If you have a sheet tray and a sheet rack like me, you're going to put it on this. You can go ahead and buy this sheet tray online. This is a Nordic Ware sheet tray, and then you can buy a rack for it. Or you can just put it on a plate. It does not matter. Why do you do this? Why do you do this hours ahead of time before you cook? Well, the most uncomfortable thing is taking a piece of meat that's sopping wet, that is making a mess all over the place, and you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to cook. And you put it on your cutting board, and there's water dripping out of it. It's making a mess, it's pooling up on your cutting board, your knife is slipping on it, and then you have a wet piece of meat that goes onto a hot pan and starts splashing everywhere because it's wet. So we air dry it, we air chill it in the fridge. We're getting rid of all of that excess surface moisture. We're patting it down with a paper towel so that we don't have that mess to deal with. One of the things that I repeat all the time when it comes to cooking is that moisture is the enemy of cooking. You might not believe it, but moisture is the enemy of cooking. So much of cooking is about getting rid of excess moisture, and it makes things uncomfortable. Specifically in the case of a wet chicken, if you had a whole wet chicken and we were trying to butcher it, it would just make a fucking mess all over the table. But before I even got to the stream, I bought it from the store, I got it out of the bag, and I put it to air dry in the fridge after patting it down. Do this ahead of time. Do this before you want to cook, and I promise you, you're going to have so much of a better time cooking with meat. Is that clear? I don't even have to tell you what to say anymore. You guys already know what to say. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Yeah, chef, perfect. Thank you, Sonic. Thank you for listening to my rant about this. It is something I'm very passionate about. So, again, this heat, we've not cranked it up. We want to get that oil smoking. That tells us that it's nice and hot. Okay? We want it nice and hot so that we can develop a nice crust on the meat, get a nice bit of caramelization on it, and then we'll pull it off. Okay? I should probably get that chicken skin onto a different dish, which I'll do really quickly. I'm going to show you what we do. We're going to have a different wire rack on a different sheet tray. This is where the chicken skin is going to cook. I'm just going to set that up right now. I'm just going to put some foil down so I don't have to wash this off later. Make my life a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to get that oil smoking hot. It's already smoking. So maybe we'll just come back to this in a second. This is all for myself and my mom because I live with my mom. Okay, that oil is hot. Let's get to that now. So, we're going to distribute it. Make sure it's all over the bottom. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and grab these tongs that I have here. Okay, chicken. It's going down. Look at it. It's ready to go. Legs. Wing. 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 We're going to get it nice and seared. We're going to get a nice seal on this. And if it's sticking, it's going to naturally unstick itself with a little bit of time. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. It's going, it's doing its thing. So, let's get back to this really quick. Let's get back to the chicken skin. The breasts, I might only just poach in the stew because I don't want to overcook it. You know what? No. We're also going to throw, do I have space for the breasts? And the answer is not really. The breasts I'm only going to poach because they're so thin and I don't want to overcook them. This is a medium heat, but I've let it preheat for a long time. And a Dutch oven, what it does well is it holds on to a lot of heat because it's a big, thick piece of cast iron, okay, that is then coated in that enamel. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my chicken skin and we're going to lie it down nice and flat on the sheet tray, and this is going to be for later. Skin side up, and then where it came into contact with the flesh is going to go down, okay? Yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to sear the chicken breast and the chicken tenders. I'm going to try to leave those as is. I should spread that out with my hand. Yeah, I'm going to grab my gloves for that, for this step. And again, we want to leave it there, and if it's sticking, just give it a little bit of time. It's going to naturally unstick. Okay? And we're going to cook the entire stew in the entirety of that pot. It's going to be lovely. We're going to keep all the flavor in. We're going to keep all the fond in. Once again, that's like the stuck protein bits on the bottom. And we're just taking all this chicken skin, and we're laying it down nice and flat. Or at least I'm going to try to. Take it, spread it out, lay it down flat. Ah, but it's curling up on me. Do we salt the chicken skin? The stew's gonna have enough salt. This chicken skin, I also didn't mention, I salted it when I got home. I salted the outside of it, so the chicken skin's already quite seasoned. But yes, you can salt the chicken skin if you want me to do this. I'm just getting this done now. We're not gonna cook this right now. We're gonna cook this a little later. Okay? We're gonna get like these little crispy chips. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. Something like that. It's kind of difficult because the skin naturally kind of wants to curl up and you have to basically tell it, no, don't do that. You're going to listen to me instead. You're going to listen to me, buddy. Okay, come on. Come on. Uncurl for me. Thank you. This one seems to be doing okay. This one is from that one wing and it's not doing so well. That one I might just leave like that. Let's grab this. This seems to be the thigh skin. The thigh skin is like the thickest. This, I have no idea what this is from. This might be one of the other leg skins. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the fridge for now, okay? And now we'll go ahead and take a look at the chicken and we'll see if it needs to be flipped. I'm gonna throw it into the fridge for now just to keep it fresh and just to maybe dry out the surface a little bit more, okay? Let's see how much color we have. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. It's starting to get a little too much color over there because my stove is tilted. But look at that, that's perfect. That's the color that I'm talking about that the stew is missing, okay? It's missing this, and I think it needs it. And then once it's done, we're gonna toss it into this paste. I'm gonna start doing that now because I've decided I'm not gonna sear the breasts. The breasts I wanna keep very delicate. I wanna only poach these. Okay? Caramelize, okay, caramelize I'm not really using correctly. Caramelization refers to only sugar. And this is technically the mild reaction, which is a lot more other complicated mechanisms that are happening at the same time. One tried to escape. What do you mean? Did one of them like flinch? I'm gonna go ahead and take this, throw this into the dishwasher, and hopefully it fits. Up, in it goes. Come on, buddy. This is gonna be a mess later. I should wash my hands probably after doing this, but it's okay. Okay, my friends. Not gonna get those tongs dirty quite yet. Take a look. We've got some really nice color developed. We're gonna try to get a little bit more. Try to get a nice good sear on these. The wings, however, these can probably come off in just a second because those have gotten all the color that I need them to. No, it's okay. Please don't apologize to me. You're totally fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. And so you see all that flavor? All of that is then going to just go into the stew itself, so it's not just straight up boiled sad meat. Okay, nobody just wants straight up boiled sad meat. It's a tragedy. Okay, this should be just about done, in my opinion. Yeah, let's pull out the wings. The wings themselves can go. This, we can maybe get a little bit more color out of it. But again, we don't want to burn the bottom of the pan. We don't want to burn all that fond that's on the bottom. All of this is going to go back into the stew. So we want to care for it, we want to preserve it, we want to give it some love. All right, my friends? And then we'll work on the salad. Everybody following so far? I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to eat it. Yes, chef? Happy to hear it. Okay. Getting some final touches on it. Nice. That thigh can probably get pulled off now. And again, don't worry about any little pieces of meat that fall in. All of it is just going to go back into the stew itself. We're just frying this meat. Okay? We're frying it. We're getting some color on it. I splashed some water on this. Hopefully not on the microphone. Microphone seems to be doing okay. Well, yeah, this is the color of meat as it cooks. So pay attention to the bottom of the pan. To me, that bottom Should not get any darker. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna pull all the meat out. We're gonna pull all of this out. And we're gonna make sure that we take off the heat. Out it comes. Out all of this comes. Okay? And we're gonna take this off the hot burner that it was on. So it goes onto this cool one. And we don't risk burning whatever was on the bottom, and then we can then easily scrape it off later. Okay? It's going to get a little bit darker as it cools off. So that's why we did it like this. I'm gonna show you what the color on the bottom looks like now. You don't want this stuff to get too dark. Okay? Not at all. And we could probably pull off the oil because we don't really need the oil in this, but it'll be okay. So, let's come back over here, my friends. Where's my overhead? Okay, hi. Guess what? This is the chicken. It's been cooked to some extent. Again, it's not fully cooked. It's all going to stew. So all we're doing right now is we're tossing it in this paste. In fact, this might be easier with my hands. We're tossing it with the paste, and then the legs and the thighs and the wings are gonna go back in first, and the breast and the tenders are gonna go in last, so that the breast and tenders themselves, they only poach. We don't want them to cook the entire time, otherwise you're going to basically get the equivalent of wood. It's gonna be so overcooked. They only need like 10 minutes of cooking once they're into the stew themselves, okay? And once the pot cools off, we'll throw it in. Look at this, look at this, beautiful. And guys, it smells fantastic. The smell of the gochujang, the smell of the gochugaru, the smell of the soy sauce, and the smell of the garlic, all together, pretty incredible stuff. This is that quintessential, this is the smell. This is the flavor that we're going for, okay? I'm gonna get my hands to make sure that it's fully and properly covered from here on out. I'm gonna check on the Dutch oven. It doesn't seem to be getting too dark at all as it's cooling off. I'm just gonna get it actually to a different burner in the meantime, so it can just cool off even more. Okay, I'm gonna get into the glove. And we're doing this so that it's a lot easier to dissolve this into the stock once we get to that point, okay? Chef, wanted to ask if your disclaimer message was serious. Maybe, I don't know yet, we'll see. I just don't know where my head's at with that kind of thing yet. So look at this, all the meat. All of this beautiful stuff, huh? And again, this might seem weird because we just cooked it and we mixed it with the raw meat. Guys, I promise you this meat is mostly raw on the inside. We just did that initial searing stage to get a little bit of extra flavor, to get a little bit of extra color. And look at this beautiful meat. Look at it. It looks fantastic. It's gonna be so spicy. It's gonna be incredible. Just covering all of it. This is gonna be a proper stew. This is what it's gonna be. Oh, it smells wonderful. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and take this glove off and set this bowl aside. We don't need this for now, for at least a little bit, okay? Making sure the Dutch oven doesn't burn too much on the bottom, and if it's not, it's totally fine. Okay, now we have to prep some other stuff. We have to prep the potatoes, we have to prep the onions, and we also have to prep the stuff for the salad itself. So I think we should get started on that now. Everybody, let's have a little update. Let's have a little update session. Also, holy shit. Okay. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That will go towards the camera that I want to get. So thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Was that $200? That was a $200 donation. Okay, Audio Murphy, thank you very much. That was very sweet of you. Wow. Okay, let's have a little recap session, my friends. So, let's talk about everything that we've just made. Again, thank you so much. That really threw me off. That really, really surprised me. Let's talk about what we have just made. So, over here, we have some chicken that we've seared, and we mixed it in a beautiful spice paste. The chicken stock, the bones, the aromatics, they're currently going in the pressure cooker, and this is what the chicken is going to stew in. Alongside it, it's going to stew some onions and potatoes. It's going to be beautiful. In the meantime, we have to get some stuff ready for the salad, and there's a reason why I need to do this now, and we have to talk about it. So, anytime you're making especially a cucumber salad, especially this traditional Korean salad, we are going to be salting it in advance. And what does that do? That allows us to both season the cucumber and for us to leach out any excess liquid. Okay? I have a cucumber that I've already washed up, and we're just gonna slice it up nice and thin. This is where a mandolin would come in if you have one of those, but I do not have a mandolin. So let's glove up, and we're going to try our best to get really, really thin slices of this cucumber. The potatoes are gonna be boiled inside of the stew. They're just gonna be peeled and we'll chop them up, okay? Ade Murphy, thank you, that was very kind of you. Okay, so take a look, cucumber, right here. Grab a knife, I'm gonna use my creamery knife for this, because it's nice and long. Here's what we do. We take it, I've cut up some of the ends, I'm gonna taste this. How's my cucumber? Lovely, nice and thin. We're using a claw, we're trying to use the most of the cucumber. We're trying to use most of the knife. Look at these slices. Holy shit. Look at these slices. Are you serious? Okay, let's talk about this. So, why was I able to get such effective slices just now? I did something very specific. I did not chop. We don't chop cucumbers. We slice them. We use the full extent of the blade. And when you do that, and you're using minimal vertical force, it doesn't cleave it like an axe. And you're able to get these beautiful, thin slices of cucumber. Okay? Right? We're just using the full length of the knife. Just like that. Look at these cucumbers. Paper thin. No need for a mandolin. Some of them we messed up because we used too much vertical pressure. We just slice. Slice it. Don't push down. You need a nice sharp knife and you're using the full length of it. Just pull. Just pull. Just pull. Okay? And that way, we'll get some really beautiful cucumber. Nice and slowly. And again, we're doing this in advance because we want cucumber to sit with the salt. We want the salt to both penetrate and season it and to get rid of any excess water. Okay? Just pull. That's too much vertical pressure. Pull. Pull. If it slams down like that and tells you you're going to slip, you'd be an amazing culinary instructor. What do you think I'm already doing? This is already what I'm teaching you guys. Okay? Look at that. Excellent. You see how I got this shitty slice? It's because I put down too much force. That's why it got so thin and it came off. Slice it. Don't chop it. Slice. Slice. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear that sound. I want to just pull. 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 Lovely. Just like this. A nice long knife lets you pull longer, right? That's why your knives are long. So you have all of that surface to slice with. Again, my slices a little bit uneven in their thickness at the moment, but we're trying. Beautiful. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. Just going through all of this cucumber, and we'll build the dressing separately for it. We'll build the dressing and then we'll toss it in after it sits with the salt because we want to get rid of that excess liquid once again. Okay? I'm putting way too much force now and I'm rushing it. You don't want to rush this. Keep it steady and it will reward you with time. It's a really good cucumber food this time of year. Stop the chop. That's right. Hot. Okay, get these out of the way so I don't accidentally slice into them again. Okay, let's get these off my cutting board. Over there they go. I love cucumbers so much. Cucumbers have never done me any harm. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, mandolins, sweet pea punk, mandolins are brutal. You gotta be careful with those. You gotta start slow. Just start slow and make sure you have a good grip on things. Just like using a knife, you never want to go fast until you get comfortable. Who is this hamster? Did she call me a hamster? Is it because I'm eating cucumbers as I go? Okay. Cucumbers have been officially sliced up. Now watch this. Here's what we do. Dry hand. We're going to go into a container of salt and give it a couple of big pinches of salt. And we're going to mix it in, and a lot of the salt is going to leave, but you don't want too much salt this time. Okay, these are really thin slices. It'll permeate it quite heavily. So one of those, and we'll give it one more. That should be plenty. And now get in there. I should have done this in a bigger bowl, but that's okay. This is the bowl where the salad is going to be in. We're going to make sure that we're separating all of these slices and that all of them are getting equal salt treatment. We don't want them stacked up. Okay, getting in there. Get in there. This is called oi muchim, this cucumber salad. It's a very traditional cucumber salad. And you can already see the cucumber start to sweat. If we don't do this step ahead of time, it's going to leach a lot of excess cucumber liquid into the salad and dilute it all. So, nice and salty, because we added a bunch of salt. Mix it through, get rid of all those stacks. Break up every single stack you see. Pick it up, do it again. As many times as it takes. Don't crush it though. Don't smush it. These are very thinly sliced cucumbers. They're delicate. You want to treat them with that level of precision and a level of care and love. Okay? Was it better snake? What do you mean? What is a cabbage snake? I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, I'm a little confused. Okay. Boom. Done. Okay? Excellent. Now, we're going to build the dressing for the salad. And after the cucumbers sit, we're going to drain out the liquid. And then we'll dress it up really nicely. So, small bowl. We're going to dump all this garlic in here. Lovely. And then we're going to get a couple tablespoons of, I think we just need like 1 tablespoon of gochugaru. Here's the dressing. We're going to get like, how much sesame oil do I want in this? Let me see. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a little less than a tablespoon of everything. So watch this. Gochugaru. We're going to get slightly less than a tablespoon of this. So a couple teaspoons. Right? That should be plenty. I don't think we need more than that. That should be enough. It's a salad. After all, then we can do like a tablespoon of sesame seeds. Maybe a little less, depending on how much you like. I happen to like sesame seeds quite a bit. So about a tablespoon of that. We're going to do a little less than, just like a couple teaspoons of sesame oil. So 2 teaspoons. And then, what do I need? Do I need anything else in this? I don't think so. I think that should actually be it. Oh, only thing is going to be some soy sauce. We're going to do a tablespoon or 2 of light soy sauce. 1, 2. Sesame seed oil. Did I already put it in? I already put it in, didn't I? Well, you're messing with me. I hope you're not messing with me. All right, let's stir it up. And this is going to be the dressing for the salad. Oh, shit, and it's also going to have some vinegar. We also have some vinegar going into this. So let me throw that in now. I have some Filipino vinegar. And we'll do like a teaspoon or 2 of that. Oh, shit, that's a lot. Okay, I did not need that much. I'm going to pour that out. This happens all the time when I'm working with vinegar. Okay. That's that. And then finally, we're going to slice up some scallions. Let me just get rid of all of this from my table. We're going to slice up some scallions, and we're going to slice up some cilantro for the salad. Cilantro is not traditional, but I think it'd be a really nice touch in something like this. You can't go wrong with cilantro and scallions, okay? Perfect. Let's get that going now, my friends. So, scallions. We'll need a few of those bad boys. You can't really have too many scallions in something like this. However, this is only for 1 cucumber, so I'm going to grab a nice handful from the fridge that I have right here. And again, you want to slice these. We're not chopping scallions. We slice them. We use the full length of it. So we take it, we stack it up nice and tight, and you're going to get nice, thin slices like this. Just push, just push, just push. All the way through it. I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Steak, burns of bacon with some water, vinegar, and salt. If it's burning a little bit, I think your pan was too hot from the beginning. I'm a big medium heat guy for thick steaks if I'm doing it purely on a pan. But as of late, I've been a reverser. I don't know if that'll really slow the cooking down. I think just some water will do you fine. It's little splashes of water, really nice for like stopping things from burning if they're searing. Not like a cup of water, but like little splashes so that it still continues to sear. But you're not really compromising the temperature too much. You're just slightly cooling it down. Okay, all these scallions. We're gonna throw these into the dressing because it'll just get added to the cucumber later on. Okay, that's done, perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and grab some cilantro and slice that up too. Nice bundle of cilantro, my friends, you can't go wrong here. And again, this is not traditional by any means. I just think it would be a really nice touch. I think it'd be really delicious together. So, cilantro. I like taking the stems off, okay? You don't have to. I like to do it because I don't like the texture too much. Take them off. The cilantro is not the freshest. I just wanted to get rid of it. That's why I'm putting cilantro in so many things today. Get that out of the way. I don't know, Jack. That's my answer to you right now. I don't know. Yes, when things are basic, they tend to brown and burn faster. That much is true. People sometimes add baking soda to caramelized onions, but I don't know how much of an effect it would have on a steak. I would have to test it out myself and look into it. Okay, guys, you hear that sound? The pressure cooker is done cooking. I'm going to cancel it. We're going to still leave it on for a second because I'm not ready to strain it out yet. But that's my answer to you, Jack. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying, I guess, in some theoretical sense, it makes sense. But I have some doubts. That's all. I get a little nervous when people start throwing around like science terms in cooking because some scientific jargon does get misused. Okay. So, cilantro. But again, I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. I'm just a little skeptical. That's all. Get all this off. Perfect. Get that stem out of here. It has no place. All right, we're going to take the cilantro. And again, this isn't the freshest, as you can tell from how slightly wilted it is. We're going to get it done, though. We're going to bunch it up. Bunch it up. And then slice it. Don't chop it. Slice it. When you chop things, you crush them and you cleave them like an axe. When you slice, you get to actually use your knife. And you get to treat it gently and delicately. Okay? A little bit more. A couple more slices. We don't want these too fine. They are for the salad, of course. Okay, that's all done. Perfect. Okay, that, my friends, is the dressing for the salad. That's all taken care of. Scallions, cilantro, garlic, soy sauce, gochugaru, sesame oil, and sesame seeds. And this is going to go onto the cucumbers once they've sat with salt and we drain them off. So guess what? The salad is basically done in the meantime. We've done everything that we needed to for it. Now we have a couple of other things we need to do. The stock has officially finished cooking as well. Now it is time for us to build the stew. And for that, we will need some onions and we will also need some potatoes. Okay? So the onions, I believe, I'm actually going to quickly cross-reference this with somebody else. The onions are going to cook from the beginning, and the potatoes, they're going to get added a little closer to the end of the operation. Okay? So I think we should just do the onions first and think about them. Let me think about this for a second. I gotta just really quickly cross-reference this. It is my first time making this dish, and I'm making some modifications, but I don't want to stray too far away from like what is traditional in the methodology here. Okay. I think it's time for us to chop up some onions. That's a conclusion I've come to. So let's get that done right now. We want these onions to make sure they're not too small. We want them roughly half the size of the chicken. If you cut them too small, they're going to collapse into the stew and they're going to melt into nothingness. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to occasionally bite into a nice large piece of onion. Okay? So let's get this going now. I have 3 smallish onions right here. Small, medium onions. And that will be perfect for the stew. And I can probably just dump that right in with the, I can just dump that right into the pot. Does chopping onions make you cry? Only if you have a dull knife. If you have a dull knife, it will make you cry. If you have a nice sharp knife, it definitely will not. So, what's a nice intermediary vessel? You know what? Before we do this, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's head to the stove. Really quickly. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just throw in all of the meat that needs to cook. All the meat that needs to braise is gonna go in now. And that's going to be the chicken leg. Okay, not the breasts. It's gonna be the chicken leg. It's going to be the thigh. Oh no, actually, that's a breast. Whoops. That's gonna be the wing. It's gonna be the wing. It's going to be the thigh. Not the breasts, not the breasts, not the tender, not the breast, not the tender. Wing, wing, thigh. And then we'll get all of that paste up in there as well. Okay? We're gonna keep all of this meat down over here. I'm gonna use this bowl as my transfer bowl to make my life a little bit easier and not waste any more dishes. Because you feel so bad for it? I understand. I see. So watch this. Let's head back over to the cutting board. We want, again, onion chunks that are not so small that they'll fall apart. We're going to cut off the root and the bud of the onion. Going to cut it in half, like this. Perfect. Get the skin off. Once we've cut it in half. And then, I think, these kinds of pieces will be just fine for something so small. And just break them up. Toss them in, break them up. We'll throw them into the bowl. Break them up. Sweet. Let's quickly clean up this cutting board so that we don't have any loose bits of skin that could get into this. Okay? Great. Happy to hear it. Cut that in half. Take the skin out. Ugh. Oh wow, this is a weird shape to an onion. Whoa, hello. He's already separated for us. Bam, throw it in. Get it fully separated into all of its layers though. Throw it in. Separate that onion. Just like your parents. Get that out of here. Excellent. Get rid of this skin. Off it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is an odd onion. You don't typically see this shape in onions. You see it more in shallots for it to be shaped like this. This doesn't need any additional slicing. Okay, I want nice big pieces of onion in this stew. I love getting a piece of onion in stew. Any smaller and it would end up falling apart. Okay, good. Happy to hear it. Now, last one. And I gotta wipe off this knife after because it was wet and you don't want to leave carbon steel wet. I am crying because I had to crush up some of the layers before, but seems to have gotten the job done. That's it. That's all we needed to do. And now I'm gonna go ahead and transfer these over to the stove. I'm gonna just use my hands in this case, actually. It'll be fine. Just toss it in. I like to toss it like that so it fully breaks it up. Once it goes in, I'm crying a little bit, but that's okay. Let's get all that in there. Let's get all of it in. And then we'll pour the stock in, and it's gonna cook. It's gonna be awesome. We wanna reduce it. We wanna reduce that stock. We wanna make sure that the stock is really, really flavorful and really concentrated. Okay. Getting most of it in there. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. That seems to be taken care of. Gonna go ahead and get rid of these gloves. Whoa. My nose is leaking a little bit. From the onions themselves. Everything is fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up my cutting board while I'm at it. And then we'll work on the stock in just a second. I just have to quickly wash up my knife. How often do I stream? 3 times a week. Glad you asked. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. On each of them. Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, twitch.tv/Daramgar. That's where. Okay. Hi. I'm gonna wash up my knife really quick and dry it off because it's a carbon steel knife and you don't want to leave these bad boys wet. Otherwise, they can oxidize, they can rust. I'm going to release the pressure in my pressure cooker at the same time, and then we'll strain out that stock. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Very, very sweet of you. I really appreciate it. Where'd you come from, by the way? Did you come from Twitter? Or how'd you find the stream? Why, thank you. Happy to have you. My sub notice have been a little off today, so I might have to fix a couple things. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Front page of Twitch. Whoa. Awesome. Do you watch food and drink stuff often? Front page of Twitch. I'm not complaining. How often do I cook fish? Honestly, not that often. Not that often. Not as much as I want to. And that's mostly because of just like a lack of decent seafood in my area that's affordable. Okay. Taking a second. When you talk about the order of operations right now, here's what needs to happen. The chicken stock that we made ourselves from a whole chicken is done. We're releasing the pressure on it from the pressure cooker. We're going to take all the bones out, we're going to straighten it out, and we're going to dump it into this pot. We're going to cook everything in that pot, and we're going to simultaneously reduce that stock. And we want to reduce that stock so that it has a lot of really nice, intense flavor. Okay? We don't want it to just taste like water. We want to taste the meatiness of that stock. So we concentrate it and we reduce all the excess liquid. Then, while that's going, because that just basically has to boil along, we can just go ahead and take a look at the pot in the meantime. I'll show you. That's not the pot. That was the wrong scene. In the meantime, we've already seared the chicken. We've tossed it in the gochujang and the gochugaru, okay? In the garlic, in the soy sauce, a bunch of light soy sauce, a bunch of dark soy sauce, and we have some onions in there as well. And this right here, that is the chicken breast and tenders that we have yet to add. And we don't add them in now so that it doesn't overcook. The thighs and the legs and the wings, they need to cook for a while so they get really nice and tender. You don't want chewy, undercooked legs and thighs. They're full of tendons. You've got to be nice and patient with them. The breast, on the other hand, we don't want to dry out. That's why working with a whole chicken is a little bit difficult sometimes, because every bit of it cooks differently. But when we separate it like this, it's all able to even out at the end. So here's what we do. I'm going to move this pot away for now. We are going to go ahead and go into my pressure cooker. I'm going to show you all the beautiful stock that we ended up making. Ah, come on, buddy. Out you go. This is the stock. Lovely. Really, really nice and meaty. Delicious. That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm actually going to take this Dutch oven. I'm going to plop it down. Oh no, does it fit? The answer is almost. I don't want to scratch it. Okay, that's fine. We're going to plop it down over here. No, that was silly. I apologize. I actually don't need it there at all. I need this pot of stock back here, and we're going to throw away all of the bones, all of the carcass, all of the chicken feet from it. We're going to grab a nice pair of tongs. We're going to grab a waste bowl that we have dedicated for this purpose, and we do not need this stuff. We don't need it. It's already done its job. It's imparted a lot of beautiful flavor into the broth. So here's what we do. We go in there, we take out, this is the backbone, rather that's the neck. We're going to take out that carcass in an attempt to do so in one piece. It's okay, it's still going to get strained out anyways. Okay? We're going to take out all of these bones. All of it comes out. There's nothing in it. All of it has been imparted into the broth itself. So don't worry about wasting this. This was on a whole chicken. This normally gets wasted anyways. But instead, we turned it into a beautiful broth and gave it some life. We take out the chicken feet. We just want to get rid of any really big chunks that could get in the way of the straining process. Okay? Take it all out. Out it goes. Okay? I have this as well. This was the wing tips. This was the chicken feet. Everything is just coming out now. And don't worry about the little bits. We'll strain those out. I just want to see, is there anything big that I potentially missed? And the answer is kind of. Okay, there we go. That's all done. We can move this waste bowl aside. The bigger the piece of meat, the less water it will take in. So the breast needs less time to get dry. Whoa. The less water it will take in. I'm not sure what you're talking about when you say the less water it will take in. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say with that. Okay, take a look. This is over here. We're going to set up a strainer on it. Just like so. And then we're going to pour all of this lovely stock in. Let's just move all of this aside. We just want to get any of the bits out of it that could be in the stock. So now we're going to do something you really shouldn't do, which is pour it towards yourself, but this is how I show it through the camera. All of this stock goes in now. Perfect. All of it out. We're going to take the strainer that has all this. Don't worry about getting rid of the fat. The fat's just going to become a part of the dish. Strain it out. And that, my friends, is the base of the stew. And now we got to stir in all of the paste, because it is filled with the chili paste now, with the soy sauce. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and set this waste bowl full of hot bones aside as well. I don't need that. Okay, the straining has been completed. And now, let's give this whole thing a nice stir all the way through. Look at that. Beautiful. And you can see the color gets darker, right? That's all of the gochujang, that's all the soy sauce, all the garlic, everything dissolving into it. And this is just the chicken, the onions, and the stock now. And later on, we're gonna add the potatoes. We don't wanna overcook the potatoes. We don't add the potatoes at this stage because they can get mushy and then dissolve into the stew and make it unnecessarily thick. And then later on, we're going to add in the tenders and the breasts themselves. So, open heat. We're only gonna put a lid on it right now so that it's able to come to a boil faster. But then once it comes to a boil, we're going to basically aggressively boil this without the lid. We want to reduce it. We want to get rid of any excess liquid in that stock. It was just boiling. It's going to take a second to come up to temperature. We just want to heat it back up, boil it, reduce it, and we'll get a very delicious, concentrated, meaty stew as a result. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to get done at the same time. We have to chop up some scallions that will go into the stew. We have the rest of the scallions. We have to chop up some more cilantro that has to go into the stew. And we have to chop up and keep the potatoes in some water while all of this is happening. So, we're staying busy. We have a lot to do. You guys ready? Is everybody following? Does everybody follow? Yeah, chef, happy to hear it. Let's come back here for a second. Let's take a breather. Oh shit, I should have done the rice. I forgot about the rice. We'll do that in a second. Just taking a second to breathe, and then we'll get back into it all. So, what did we accomplish? We've built the foundation for the stew. We've seared the chicken, we've poured the homemade stock on it, we broke down an entire chicken ourselves, we've made the dressing for the salad, and at the same time, we're soaking the cucumbers in salt. And I want you guys to see, look how much water is coming out of it. You see all that water? This would have ended up in the salad. We're doing it like this so that we can leach it out, and it won't dilute the salad, and it won't make it soggy. I see. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I tried very hard. So here's what we got to do. We got to peel and chop up potatoes. We got to chop up some scallions. We got to chop up some more cilantro. Cilantro is going to go into the stew itself. Let's get a nice bundle of that. We'll have about this much going in now, and I can put the rest into the fridge. Boom. I have no use for this anymore. Away it goes. The gochugaru, I'm going to also put away into the pantry. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have it just in case out, in case I need to season anything else. Okay? And then I'm also going to get the rest of the scallions out. Let's take a little peek. This isn't boiling yet, and once it's boiling, I'll have it live so that you guys can see it as it goes. Okay, cilantro. Let's do the thing that we do all the time, which is stalk by stalk. Take it, pick it, separate it. Away it goes. Trash. I don't want those stems. I don't want any of these stems. I want the leaves. I don't like the texture of the stems. I'll say this as many times as it takes. Ooh, this one, I don't know why the cilantro looks like that. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, champ. Maybe it's overgrown. I don't know what's going on with it. All right. Getting rid of that. It's okay for some stems to pop up, but I'm for the most part trying to get rid of it all. Out it goes. Again, it's no fun to do this. You don't have to do it. It's totally optional. So I'm in Switzerland. I think I stay a bit longer. Well, I'm happy to have you. Guys, if you're not staying up too late to watch me, then what are you doing? By the way, if anybody has any questions at any time, if anybody wants to ask me something, I'm more than happy to be receptive of it. Okay, cilantro, pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it. Out it goes. Have I ever tried an air fryer? I don't like them. I think they are very cheaply made bits of plastic, and I wish people would just get like a toaster convection oven instead, like a countertop toaster oven with convection capabilities. So I don't love air fryers too much. I also don't have space for one. And I also don't think they're able to take on a lot of volume of food. People oftentimes they overstuff their air fryers too, which I think is a bit of a problem. Because you need the air to kind of circulate it, so it's kind of it's misused and it's a little bit awkward in shape. And you can't use it for a lot of other things. So I don't really like them that much. Okay. This all comes out. Lovely. And now we'll do the same exact thing that we did before. We're gonna take all the cilantro, we're gonna take it, we're gonna bunch it up. Bunch it up right now. And then we're gonna slice it. Non-stick pan or cast iron. I am trying to move away from non-stick as much as I can. I mean, here's the thing. In reality, nothing is going to ever really be as non-stick as non-stick. Even with like a properly seasoned carbon steel or cast iron pan. It has its uses. And I think the most important use of it is in eggs. Otherwise, there's really no need to use one. Because there's no other time that I feel like I need something to cook on a low temperature but not stick. Eggs might be my one exception to this rule. Cilantro, I'm just going through it all, nicely sliced up, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this over to his plate. And this plate is also gonna contain the scallions that will then inevitably go into the stew. Cilantro, perfect. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the stew. Is this boiling yet? Almost. I'm gonna quickly scrape up the bottom to make sure all of it's come out. Okay, lovely. Smells pretty fantastic. We're gonna get it up to a boil, and we're gonna keep it boiling. Okay, next, scallions, my friends. This time I'm gonna use up all of them. I want scallions. They're delicious, and I need to get rid of the ones I have in the fridge. Okay. Favorite food that you could eat every day? Rice and beans. I could eat rice and beans every single day. My friends, guess what? This guy is boiling, or about to. I can hear it. I can start seeing it bubble up. Medium, high heat. You don't want the heat to go above the sides of the pan or anything. But this is going to reduce. This is going to intensify in color simultaneously as well. Because all that gochujang and all that gochugaru is dissolved into a lot of broth. And once we evaporate a lot of the liquid, I promise you, it's gonna get a lot more intense and red in color. Okay? But at the moment, it still looks pretty good. All that stock I wanted to reduce. I want a nice, meaty, delicious stew. Okay. My perfect breakfast meal. My breakfast tacos are fantastic. I make like a quick like charred salsa roja with like charred plum tomatoes or something and some red onion and like arbol chilies. And I'll do like a fried egg that's like nice and runny. And I'll have some bacon and I'll make bacon refried beans. So the taco would be, it'd be like a plate of rice and beans and then some tacos with like the egg and the salsa. And it's really, really nice and delicious all together. My breakfast tacos are fantastic. And I love making it for people. So once again, same idea. We're slicing. We're using the full length of the blade here. Okay? This is all gonna go into the stew itself. And I used up all the scallions in my fridge. The way that I came up with today, I looked at what I had. I was like, okay, I got scallions, I gotta get rid of that. I have chicken stock, I gotta get rid of that. And I also have cilantro, I need to get rid of that. I do like Olivier. I do like Olivier quite a bit. I make a fantastic Olivier. I didn't like it at all growing up, and it's only a very recent newfound appreciation I have for Olivier. I grew up eating it. Well, I grew up not eating it, actually. Quite the opposite. Because it was like all mayonnaise filled, and I was like, ugh. And then I got a lot of love and appreciation for it later on. So, all these scallions. This is going to go into the stew later on once it's almost done cooking. I'm just going to go ahead and dump that onto my little garnish plate that I've set up here. Okay? What age did I get into cooking? Maybe around 6 or 7. I've always had a fascination with it. But I've been deep diving for the majority of my life now. And I'm 21 years old. Ah, it smells wonderful. The stew already? It smells good. It's only going to get even more intense as it goes on. It needs to simmer down. Well, no, not simmer. It's going to boil down. We want to aggressively get rid of all that liquid. And at the same time, the meat inside is going to get nice and tender as it cooks. All right? That's the legs and the thighs. That's the stuff that gets the most tough. It's going to get nice and tender in this process. So, guess what? We've done all that. It's time for us to do the favorite task of peeling the potatoes. Have I worked any jobs where I cooked? No, but I apprenticed. I apprenticed at 2 restaurants. One of which closed, one of which is still open. But never really worked. Okay, here's what happens. Potatoes. I have about 5 potatoes here. That's all going to go into the stew. I had some potatoes in the fridge I wanted to get rid of, and thus, this was also some of the inspiration. We are going to get a nice bowl of water that we're going to put the potatoes into. And the reason for that is so that the potatoes don't oxidize by the time that we need them. So, bowl of water, ready to go. We're going to first peel them all, and then we'll slice them all. We'll get some nice big chunks out of them. Let's glove up. Let's get a waste bowl ready to go, which is going to be this bad boy right here. And we're going to process all of these potatoes. We'll build the salad, we'll throw that into the fridge. It'll be awesome. Don't forget the cucumbers are still sitting with all that salt, and I'll show you how much of it actually gets drained out. It's pretty incredible. So, my vegetable peeler. Always have a nice, good, sharp peeler. Use your thumb as an anchor, get through it. Guys, if your peeler is dull, throw away and get a new one. Unless it's a peeler that can be sharpened, but I've never seen that. To see me make bacon, as in like cure my own bacon, because that takes like a while. And I can't even like smoke it because I'm at home in an apartment. What do you mean just me like cook with bacon? I've cooked with bacon a few times. Okay, let's get rid of all this peel. Out it comes. Out all of it comes. Awesome. Sweet. And that's one potato already all peeled up. Okay. You might be asking me what kind of potatoes these are. Good question. I have no idea. I saw them, I bought them. The only thing is we're not doing any like waxy potatoes. We're not doing red potatoes. We're not doing any baby potatoes. I have 2 gold potatoes, and I think these are russets, if I'm not mistaken. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're asking, Jack. Okay. Getting rid of all that. Peeling it down. Lovely. Favorite way to cook eggs? That is a really good question. What is my favorite way to cook eggs? I do like an over medium egg. And the reason why I like over medium, oh, yes, it was. The reason why I like an over medium egg, thank you for the question, by the way. How do I say that? Sisyphean? Sisyphean. Sisyphean? Sisyphean. Something like that. Because I know his name is Sisyphus, right? So it's like Sisyphean? Anyhow, favorite way to cook eggs, over medium. I think over easy eggs are so runny that they don't get soaked up by the bread too well. An over medium egg is a lot more saucy, and it doesn't run all over the place. Okay, I'll call it sis instead. But yes, to answer your question, I love over medium eggs. I also love, what are they called? Like hot spring eggs? Onsen tamago, which are really, really easy and consistent to do. You boil a certain amount of water, you get to a very, very certain temperature, and then you basically put eggs in there to chill out. And you get something that's almost like a poached egg inside of the shell. And then you can crack it over a bowl of rice. I love onsen tamago. They're really good. To me, they're better than a soft-boiled egg, and they're better than a poached egg. And they're easy. They're very easy to do. Okay. So, potato, peeled up. Let's get the last two. Egg and rice is one of my favorite foods, and it should be for a reason. That is like my staple. That is like my, oh shit, I have nothing at home, I'm going to make myself some eggs and rice. Right? That's what it functionally does for me. Peeling up all the potatoes, my friends. All right. Very delicious stew. Onions, potatoes, chicken, gochujang, gochugaru, soy sauce. You can't go wrong with something like this. Nice and simple. I do love raw eggs. Filipino comfort food, that's right. Okay. Get rid of all those peels. Split it off. Nice. Last potato that we need to peel. Getting it done now. Good evening. Hello, Mr. Taza. Howdy, howdy. Almost done with all the potatoes, and then we'll give them a nice chop, and we'll exchange the water, because I didn't really scrub these potatoes. I didn't really clean them of the dirt. So there's like still like some residual fragments of dirt. And you don't really need to scrub things if you're gonna peel them off anyways, as long as you wash it thoroughly afterwards, right? I didn't want to like go in there and aggressively scrub potatoes for however long. Okay, that's all done. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all that. Excellent. I do love raw eggs. Raw eggs over rice, pretty fantastic, can't go wrong. So, think about the kinds of chunks that you want in your stew. Okay? This is what I'm gonna be going for. Not too thin, not too thick. I'm not even gonna cut these in half again, just like this. And they do tend to stick to your knife. So you wanna kinda keep them on the edge, stack them away. These are only gonna take about 15 minutes to cook. They might take the exact same amount of time as the chicken to cook, okay? Get those back into the water so they don't oxidize. Your potatoes will turn brown, okay, if you leave them exposed for too long. Nice little chunks. Perfect. That's one potato down, 4 to go. Hash browns are my favorite, says Sis. In terms of general, good eggs are my favorite, as long as you know what you are doing, because they're hard to fuck up. I think it's actually quite easy for people to fuck up eggs. I think it's quite easy for people to overcook them or add a bunch of shit that they don't need. I'm gonna cook them with milk and cream and creme fraiche and make it creamy. None of that stuff is necessary. Okay, the stew is going, it's boiling away, it looks beautiful. We're gonna get it nice and thick by the time it's done reducing. Yeah, that's like some classic like bodybuilder shit, right? All right. Ugh. Oh, what is going on at the center of the potato? Hello, buddy. Let's get you out of here. I want nothing to do with this. Was it like sprouting from the center? I have no idea what was going on with it. Okay. We have about 2 more potatoes to go. This soup might actually have too many potatoes, but that's fine. I don't mind. I love potatoes. Also, thank you so much for the sub. I don't know why, but I'm not getting alert noises right now. I'm going to have to fix that. I really do apologize. Thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Or maybe I'm just not hearing it. Did you guys hear an alert noise? Oh, you did? Oh, why don't I hear that on my end? Interesting. Why? What does adding wine actually add to a dish? Excellent question. It tastes like wine. I don't know, that's not like so helpful, but it adds this certain sweetness, it adds a certain acidity, and it also adds the taste of wine. You can literally just compare it. Make a little batch of something with the wine in a recipe and make a batch with it without. And you will feel it completely lacking that oomph that wine gives. Wine is very, very noticeable. Maybe some stuff like vodka and you know, some of the liquors aren't as noticeable. Wine, without a doubt, is noticeable. So, I am going to quickly clean up my station. I'm going to wipe down my knife. I'm going to wipe down my board. I'm going to wipe down my table. I'm going to show you guys as this goes. Alcohol burns off. Most of it evaporates. Most of it evaporates. And people deglaze with wine because they want to get like a 2-in-1 step done out of the way, so that they can both start reducing the wine, right, to evaporate some of the alcohol, and then to get anything that was stuck to the bottom out of the way. So this is the stew. The chicken has already been going through quite a bit. The chicken at this point is probably fully cooked, but it's not tender enough because we haven't broken it down enough. So you have to cook it long enough for it to come apart and get tender. I'm going to just clean up my station, and then we'll do a little recap and everything that you and I, that's us, buddy, have accomplished thus far. Get that out of the way. Get all this out of the way. Wipe down my table. And I'm going to exchange the water on the potatoes is the only thing I'm going to do. And I do want to wash my knife again because that is a carbon steel knife. I want to baby it. I want to make sure it doesn't stay too wet for too long. Okay? And then we'll do a recap in a second. We'll wash them, guys. We'll get it all done. Knife. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Ah. And again, we need to cook this down as long as it takes, okay? If it looks like a lot of stew, but a lot of that liquid has to go. It's diluting all of the flavor of everything that we've built. I'm going to give it a little taste now, though, just to see where it's at. Because again, the chicken at this point is fully cooked. Thank you, Taza, for reminding me. Okay, everybody, let's talk about everything that we have made. Let's talk about everything that we have accomplished thus far. Number one. Also, hello, Vendetta. It's lovely to see you. First of all, what's happening on the pot at the moment? We made a homemade chicken stock. We deboned a whole bird. We cooked it down with cilantro and garlic in a pressure cooker. We strained it out. We had a bunch of chicken. We had the legs, we had the wings, we had the thighs, and we had the breasts. We seared it all. We got a bunch of good color on it. Okay? And then we tossed it in a combination of soy sauce, gochujang, gochugaru, and a bunch of garlic and black pepper. We tossed it in there, we put it back in the pot alongside 3 onions. We poured in the stock that we've made. It gave it that red hue because of the present gochujang and the gochugaru, right? The fundamental flavors of Korean cooking. Okay? And now it's all just cooking down now because we want to concentrate those meaty flavors. We want to concentrate that stock. We want it to have a lot of oomph. Okay? It's very important. Next, we chopped up a bunch of potatoes. That's going to get added alongside the chicken breast and the chicken tenders into the stew. We did not add the chicken breast and tenders before because we did not want it to overcook. We didn't want it to get it dry and mealy and way too tough. Also, sis, holy shit. Thank you so much. It's very sweet of you. Thank you for the $100 donation. That's very, very kind of you. Wow. Okay, yes, it does. It does quite a bit of times. I'm also saving up for the new camera, so that does help quite a bit. Thank you. It was very sweet of you. Okay. We did all that. The stew is cooking down now. It's happening. It's happening live. Again, thank you so much, sis. That was very, very sweet of you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the salad that we were making as well, my friends. Let's take a look. Look at the cucumbers. Look at them. You might be like, oh, Daramgar, why do they look like that? Let me tell you, baby, salt. We put a bunch of salt in there. Oh, thank you, sis. I try my best. We put a bunch of salt in there. We've leached out a lot of the liquid. And this is so that the salad does not become soggy. Let me show you something. I'm gonna blow your mind right now. I do this anytime I have cucumbers, anytime I have tomatoes, anything that is too wet that goes into a salad. Because watch this, ready? Look at all this liquid. Look at all of this. This is pure cucumber water that would have otherwise found its way. Also, Chloe, welcome, welcome. This is all cucumber water that would have found its way into the salad itself, that would have diluted the dressing that we made. And guess what? We pour it off into the waste bowl. We don't want to squeeze it, per se. We don't want to destroy the cucumbers here. But guess what? That is now a nice, properly wilted cucumber. Okay? We're gonna mix it with the dressing in a little bit. It doesn't preserve it, no. This was not to preserve it, but it seasoned it, and it was functional because it leached out all the liquid. You can, yeah, sure. DM me to post in Discord or something. Jack, you can send stuff. But it does not pickle it. No, it does not do that. It does slightly soften it though. And we're careful not to squeeze it dry or anything. Okay, I need to focus on the rice. Because I did want to make some rice food today as well. I'm gonna give my stew a little bit of a stir. And I'm gonna taste it as well while we're at it. Again, the chicken at this point is basically fully cooked. We're just reducing it and getting it tender because the chicken is too tough at this stage. I'm gonna taste the broth. Hopefully it's not too spicy, but if it is, so it will be. Guys, even before that's reduced, even before it got to the texture it needed to be, that is full of flavor. That is intense. That is really delicious. And it's not too spicy yet, but it will get more spicy because we're going to reduce it. We're going to get rid of excess liquid. Okay? It's not going to be as diluted. Cybernetic sloth, good question. The answer is no. You either have to dilute it by adding more stuff or take some out and then put some more bland things in it. Once it's in there, it's in there. That's my advice to you. However, it does tend to float to the top. Because if I'm not mistaken, capsaicin is kind of oil soluble. If you pour some oil on top, it turns red. I have a feeling that if you put some extra oil on top, and then you take like a piece of bread or you take it off from the top, that might just get rid of some of the spiciness. I might be mistaken, but I've definitely done that before with some things that were too spicy. I should look into that more. Okay, pot. I'm gonna wash the rice. I'm gonna have to step off flame for a second. I have some lovely sushi rice that I love using as my go-to rice. I love sushi rice. I love how sticky it is. I love how starchy it is. I love the texture of it. The point is for it to be spicy. Yes, this dish is supposed to be spicy. I'm gonna use up the rest of this bag, okay? Thank you, Taza. I am working on it. Sloth asked me, is there any way to get rid of spiciness once you have too much of it in something, effectively? Oh, Zio, hello, it's lovely to see you. Happy to see you again. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna wash the rice. Same deal. I'm gonna make a claw, I'm gonna agitate it. We're gonna go until it's clear. I'm gonna show you how we do that right now. Well, not really, because I'm gonna go to the sink and do this. So, I'm gonna have chat open on my phone. Chat, I'm watching you guys. I'm looking at you. I'm gonna have it open. I'm gonna watch you. So while I'm washing the rice, you can't see anything behind my back, okay? Also, thank you so much for the gifted sub, sis. Very, very appreciated, very sweet of you. So, you guys are gonna watch the stew boil. I have chat open on my phone at the same time so that I'm not distracted or that I'm not spending too much time away from you guys. I'd get very sad. Sis, you've been a very welcome presence in here. Thank you for being so generous today. Okay. Gloving up so that, I have eczema on my hands. I don't want to get it too wet. And we're going to agitate this rice and we're going to wash it until it's clear. I'm going to show you how much water to include. I apologize that I don't have a sink camera to show this off, but that would be fun to figure out how to do one day. One day, not today. Okay. Stew is boiling, it looks beautiful. And we're reducing it. And we're getting all of that broth, all that intensity. We're gonna get this thing nice and gelatinous by the end of it. Well, thank you. That is very sweet of you that you recognize what we're trying to do here. We're just hanging out. And I see that you've made quick work of the emotes. I'm glad that you've adopted that so quickly. Washing the rice, agitating it, cleaning it up, my friends. I'll be done in just a second, I promise. I miss you. I do miss you quite a bit. Looks good so far. I'm happy to hear it. Slow bro. Okay. And so, my friends, the rice has now officially been washed. And now we need to learn about how to cook rice. Anybody that's here, I know you're going to roll your eyes. You're going to be like, oh, chef, we have seen this for so long. We've seen this so many different times. Well, you're going to learn again today. You're going to learn. So, let's talk about this. Alrighty. Have a lovely night, Jack. Thank you for being here. Also, Duolingo has my family. That's a hilarious tag. I've seen you around before. I've seen that Twitch handle before. Where have I seen it before? So, let's take a look. This is the rice. How do you know how much water to add? So, number one rule when cooking rice. Volumetric measurements are fucking nonsense. They're useless. Don't think about this in terms of cups. You saw I didn't measure that rice at all. Here's what we do. Don't worry about the fingernail trick either. Here's what you need to understand. The more water you have, the more the rice is going to absorb and get mushy. On a very extreme end of this, where this is considered favorable, think of something like, I don't know if it's kangi or kanji. I don't really know how it's pronounced. But the basically rice porridge, where it swells up and soaks up a lot of liquid. On the opposite end of things, think of something like fried rice, where it's super granular. That when fried rice is made, it's made with rice, or at least it should be made with rice, where it has barely any water above it. Barely any more than like a 1-to-1 ratio, and you need a little bit more to account for evaporation. The more water you have, the more mushy it's going to be. The less water you have, the more granular it's going to be. In this case, I basically have half a fingernail, my fingernail, of water above this current level of rice. We're going to turn it on, bring it to a boil, drop to a simmer, put a lid on, and cook it for 15 to 20 minutes, around 18 minutes, to get a nice, evenly cooked rice. It's not about the length of time that you cook it, it's about the amount of liquid that you have and the amount that evaporates. The more water you add, the more mushy it's gonna be. Think about the texture. Think about the texture that you want to have. If I'm making a fried rice, I would have less water than this, because I want the rice to be super granular and separated. In this case, I want a nice base rice. That's gonna be the base for the stew once we eat it. Nice and sticky. Okay? So let's head to the stove. I'm gonna plop this on. Boop. On she goes. This is by the way, the rest of the chicken breast. That's gonna get added later on, okay? So don't worry about that quite yet. Medium heat to bring to a boil and drop it to a simmer, and I'm also gonna find a lid for this at the same time. Just so that is ready to go for when we need it, and I found its lid this time. Aha! Beautiful. Bring to a boil, drop to a simmer. Let's check on the chicken. Ooh, it's reduced. You can see where it began. You can see that it began all the way up here. And now we're all the way down here. Okay? And this is important. We're concentrating the meaty flavors of the broth. We're getting it done. We're getting the chicken nice and tender, nice and fully cooked, so that it falls off the bone when we're ready to eat. And, oh no, I forgot to make the crispy chicken skin. Oh well, it'll be fine. That stew looks wonderful. And again, I want to reiterate, we didn't add the breast and the tenders because it would get overcooked and dried by the time the thighs and the wings cook. Those take longer, the breasts take a much less amount of time. And that way, you'll get both the like super tender breast meat that's like nice and supple and has like a good bite to it, but isn't per se like shredded or dry on the inside. And the thighs and the legs and the wings, those are gonna fall off the bone. They're gonna be amazing. And we're cooking all of it down now. I have a similar gamer tag to reply. Okay, I understand that. That's also a hilarious Twitch tag. Duolingo has my family. That's pretty good. I like it. So we're gonna keep reducing it and tasting it, because remember, when we add the potatoes, it's gonna reduce more. When we add the breast, it's gonna reduce more because we're cooking it all open. Let's have another taste of the liquid. See how that spiciness has progressed since we last tried it out. Go in there, get a nice spoon of that. Beautiful. Oh, that looks so good. That needs to keep going, but that is wonderful. That has so much flavor, my friends. That is so flavorful. What's the first dish that I learned how to cook? I have no idea. Maybe teriyaki chicken. I think that might have been the first. Aside, okay, when we're talking cook, we're talking about using the heat. I might have been like 10, maybe like 9 when I was allowed to use a stove. I think it was teriyaki chicken because that was like my fixation for a little bit. And it wasn't very good. Sis asked me what was my first dish that I learned how to cook. I should start repeating the questions. I'm gonna do that. Don't worry. I'll get into a habit of it. I caught myself that time. Okay, let's look at the salad again. Head back over here. And again, whenever the rice boils, whenever it comes up to a boil, we'll drop it to a simmer and put a lid on and cook it for about 18 to 20 minutes. And you can't really overcook it. I really want to emphasize this. It only gets overcooked if you have too much liquid. Speaking of liquid, let's look at the salad. Let's see, is there any more cucumber water that we need to get rid of? And if not, then we'll toss in the dressing and call it a day. I had to prove myself. Okay, so take a look. There's still cucumber water that is coming out of this that will dilute the dressing in the salad that we've prepared, the beautiful dressing with the soy sauce and the gochugaru, right? So out it goes. Boop. It has to all come out. We'll mix it around. And we're getting rid of any excess salt that way too. Excellent. That is now devoid of any excess liquid. All of that would have found its way into the salad, and we've avoided it. All right, the rice is boiling. I drop it to a simmer, super low heat. Put the lid on, 18 minutes. That's how you get perfect stovetop rice every time. You think about the intention, you think about the texture you want, and you add, with a little bit of experience, more or less water depending on what you do. Okay, take a look. That's the cucumber. And this is the beautiful dressing that we made, that we prepared. Okay? Sesame seeds, sesame oil, soy sauce, garlic, gochugaru, cilantro, scallion. All that goes in, I'm going to use my hand to mix it around because that'll be the easiest job. And that's why I'm keeping the glove on for this. Okay? Get it in there. Mix up those layers. Also a little bit of vinegar. Oh no, this is gochugaru. In fact, gochugaru is never labeled as that. I'm going to show you what I have. This. If you find this, if it says red chili pepper flakes, this is gochugaru. I hope that helps. Because I couldn't find it for some time and then I realized, wait, it's just not labeled as that. So take a look. Get it in there. Well, it depends on the brand, of course. Right? Because there's a million different brands. Get it all in there. Make sure you're separating all the layers of the cucumber. And this is called oi muchim. Oi muchim, I think. Pretty sure it is. This is a very, very like classic staple Korean little salad that would be served with a bunch of dishes, right? In Korean cooking, you need to understand, there's a very strong concept of these little side dishes that would get served with like a main meal. Also, hello to Kool, happy to have you. And that is what this is. This little cucumber salad right here is an example of one of those dishes. Marinated cucumbers are good. You're right, Zen mode. So we're just getting it in there. We're making sure it's all spread out. But yes, this would be served alongside any main dish. To my understanding, a lot of Korean cooking is basically you have one big main dish that is served. You have rice that is served with a lot of different meals. And then you have a bunch of these typically cold little side dishes. And I think those are called banchan. Right? Or what the, I guess like the chain Korean fried chicken place is called, also banchan. Quality is outstanding. Great job so far. Thank you, Afro Thunder. So mixing it all up, we're not squeezing the cucumber, we're being delicate with it. It got a lot softer after it's set and sit in with the salt a little bit, right? So we don't want to be too aggressive with it at this stage. So we're just separating the layers and making sure all of the seasoning, all the vinegar, all the soy sauce is getting in there. And now let me have a taste. Oh, dude, that is so good. And it's very important that the garlic sat with the vinegar and everything so that it lost a lot of its potency. We still get the garlic flavor, but it's not overpowering. That is delicious. So sis asked me, how did I find Twitch and when? I started on Twitch. I was doing some generic video games back when I was 17. I started streaming on Twitch when I was 17. I wanted originally to be a Dig Dug streamer because I really liked Dig Dug back then. And then I moved to college and I was doing Smash streams from my dorm. And my Smash streams got a little bit popular from when I used to post a lot of Nest clips onto the Smash Bros. Subreddit. I had some that blew up a little bit. And I'm also a commentator in esports, right? I'm an esports commentator. I commentated and commentate Smash for a number of years now. And then I was like, wow, I hate Wi-Fi Smash. This is the most miserable thing I could be doing with myself. And I did some Melee, and then I did some Just Chatting streams. And then I was like, this is awful. I want to be pursuing food. I want to teach people how to cook. And I didn't want to have a poor quality cooking stream. So I spent a lot of time developing the setup that we have here. And that's what we have. I have completely over-mixed this. I did not need to mix it that much. It was just fun. Let's have a taste. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do another spoon of gochugaru. That doesn't have enough heat for me. I think it would actually benefit from one more spoon of the gochugaru. Because it is supposed to have a good amount of heat to it. And it is up to you how much you want to add. Okay? I'm trying to keep this hand nice and devoid of that. Let's do a little bit more. Perfect. And I think that should be good. Thank you, Zia. I tried my best. And let's get it in there. Let's get all of that in the layers. Oop, I splashed a little bit. Gonna have to clean that up. Perfect. Yes, there's also cilantro. That is not so traditional. But, oh, that's good now. Perfect. That's not traditional. I wanted to get rid of some excess cilantro that I've had. And I thought it'd be really nice. It would work, right? Sesame oil, sesame seeds, soy sauce, garlic. You know, we have a red pepper flake as well. There's no reason why a fresh herb like cilantro would not go good in this, even if it's a little bit atraditional. Right? Because cooking and home cooking is about using up what you have and stopping it from going bad. And that's why there's so much cilantro and scallion featured in this. Yes, that's right. Cooking is supposed to be flexible, it's supposed to be fluid, it's supposed to be fun, but most importantly, it's not supposed to be wasteful. You're not supposed to buy a million different little things that you need all the time. The reason why I'm making this dish today, let me tell you why. I had 3 inspirations: scallion, cilantro, and chicken stock. Those are 3 things I had in my fridge that I wanted to get rid of. I took that chicken stock that I already had and I made it into a new one with some more water and some more fresh bones. And all of that went into this, okay? I had scallions I wanted to get rid of. Scallions are used everywhere in Korean cooking. They're in the salad, they're gonna go into the stew. I used up all of them. And I used up almost all of my cilantro as well, some in the salad, some in the stew. Even if it's not traditional, there is no way it wouldn't taste good in something like this. And that is the way that you need to be cooking at home. You cannot always think, what do I want to eat? And how do I validate that all the time? It's about looking at what you have and making sure you can make the most out of it. And almost everything here today, I had potatoes in the fridge, I had onions, I had garlic. All of these were things I already had in my pantry. I went out to go buy a chicken and a couple of other things. I had gochujang, I had gochugaru, and I would love to get more invested into Korean cooking as I'm building a pantry that is suited for that kind of thing. So that, my friends, is the salad. I'm gonna go ahead and do myself a favor. I'm gonna transfer that into a proper container. Okay, that can then go ahead and chill in the fridge. Get that over to a Tupperware right now. And then I'll put away some dishes. I could have used a hand with a glove on. Yes, dried anchovies are important, as I've understood, and also some kelp. But there was no room for dried anchovy in something like this. This is not a dish that needed. Okay, I'm gonna do the bigger spoon, just so I don't seem so silly doing this. We're gonna put all this lovely dressing on it. And the longer it sits, the more it's actually going to flavor something like a cucumber, okay? Things don't marinate all the time in the kitchen. Cucumbers definitely do. People like to really romanticize marinating. This is where it actually does have a nice function. Vegetables really do take it on quite well, especially the cucumber. Okay? I'm just gonna scoop this in. I'm gonna chill it out until I'm ready to eat it. And then I'm gonna put these into the dishwasher. Get that done ahead of time. That's so good. Wait, what do you mean, Zio? Zio, can you explain? Legally Man says, I too marinate in the kitchen, particularly when there are snacks by the cavity. Won't let me set up a monthly tip donation. Interesting. Can you even do that? Oh, that's like, I see. I didn't even know that was a feature. Okay, I'm gonna put some stuff out. Let's go and take another look at the chicken. You want to scrape down the sides, make sure nothing is sticking to it. And I think at this stage, you can see how much volume we've ended up losing in this process. Soon it's going to be ready to take on the potatoes and the tenders. Okay? I'm going to get some stuff away and into the dishwasher. Guys, remember, clean as you go, you will thank yourself later. I'm going to repeat that as many times as it takes for you to understand that that is the core of the home kitchen. You are not in a professional kitchen setting where you have a dishwasher, unless you just have it like that in your own home. You have to clean as you go, and you will keep, especially if you're in an apartment and you have a fairly small kitchen, okay? Cleaning as you go is pretty essential. If you have a dishwasher, great. If not, throw it into the sink, and the things that need to soak, you gotta let them soak. It's really, I cannot emphasize enough to you the importance of doing this. And then, by the end of it, right, you have a lot of downtime in the kitchen. By the end of all of it, you won't have a big pile of dishes in your sink. It'll be somewhat put away at least. No, it's going to cook all the way with the chicken. In fact, it's also going to help thicken the stew to some extent. It's going to be really nice. I'm going to give it another taste, but it is hitting that point where I feel like it's time to add the potatoes, because it's still going to reduce once we add the potatoes in. And I think I've also run out of things to do. Uh-oh. I might have run out of things to do. I should have done the salad later on. Oh well. We will live. Okay. Just throwing in some last stuff into the dishwasher, filling it up. Getting all that done now. But, in it goes. And again, because of the fact that the thighs and the legs, they went in so early, they get nice and tender by now. Okay, they'll fall off the bone, they'll be beautiful. Okay, anytime I cook, I have time to do all the dishes that have accumulated. Yes, you do. You have to manage your downtime. People are like, oh, there's so many dishes. There are a lot of dishes. But if you manage it and you understand how to manage your passive and your active time, then you'll get it all done, I promise. Okay, guess what? I'm going to give that another taste, and we'll see. Is it ready for the potatoes and the rest of the chicken? Only thing is I'm still just afraid of overcooking that chicken, so I might give the potatoes a head start. I might give them like a 5-minute head start. Oh yeah, it's getting delicious. Okay, I'm going to strain off the potatoes because they've been sitting in water this whole time. Also, thank you so much, Zio, for the $3 donation. Very sweet of you. Everybody's donating today. It's very kind. I'm trying to save up for a new camera, and this really helps. Okay, let me strain off this liquid. Because we don't want to get any more excess liquid. We spent so much time trying to evaporate all the water that we don't need. The worst thing that you can do is at this stage to then add some, okay? So potatoes, basically one by one, we're gonna drop them in. You touch them to the boiling water, and then they won't splash. If you do it like this, it's gonna splash at you. So we take a handful, and we just pile it, and we just pile it. We take it, and we pile it, and nothing's gonna splash this way. People, when they're afraid of especially super hot oil, and they wanna deep fry, and they say they're so intimidated, they get really up close and personal, and then you drop it in and it won't splash back at you. But the thing that people do, when they're afraid of it, they go from a distance and then they drop it in and then it splashes up at you. Okay? This is gonna need a little bit of salt because remember, the potatoes are really bland. And the potatoes, once they release some extra starch into everything, they're going to give this whole stew a really nice viscosity. So take the potatoes, stir them in. It's going to drop the temperature for a second, and we're going to keep it up on this heat because we want to reduce the stock. We still want to reduce it. We want to get a nice thick stew out of it. I should have done this step sooner, but that's okay. Okay, keep it going. Keep the whole thing boiling. Keep it reducing, keep it evaporating. No chef, what was the no chef to? Why'd you say no chef out of your movie? Taking a second. You want to cook it, you want to boil it. Let's get this back up to a boil for a second with the lid on, and then we'll take it right off so it can evaporate. We're doing this just to help it to build up some heat again. Have I run out of things to do? I believe I have. Uh-oh. And we still got like 20 minutes of cooking left to do. Sis asks me, favorite pizza toppings? I have an answer for you. I have a very complicated, roundabout answer. Here's my answer. I don't like to think about pizza in terms of toppings. I don't want to sound pretentious about this, but to me, the same way that sandwiches are holistic creations, the same way burgers are holistic creations, the same way that pizza is built from the ground up, the type of dough that is used, the type of sauce, the type of cheese, and then what you put on top of it. To think about it in terms of you have your base pie and then you can put whatever else you want on top of it is very unharmonious to me. I don't know if that's a word. So I don't like having a single topping that I like. I like having fully constructed and fully thought out pizzas. So I'll give you an example. A plain cheese pie, right? Plain cheese pie, okay? What is it? It is a tomato sauce, sometimes a raw sauce, sometimes a marinara if you're in the United States. Low moisture mozzarella cheese. And then they do olive oil and sometimes a little bit of Parmesan. That's it, really simple. I would never put a topping on top of that. I would instead think about a completely different pizza from the ground up. Change up the kind of cheese that I'm using. Okay, change up the kind of cheese, change up the kind of sauce that I'm doing, depending on what I'm doing with it. For example, a pizza that I've theory crafted that I'd love to do if I have an open fire. I'd love to do a smoked onion sauce, soft cheese mushroom pizza. The onions, I want to like throw into the fire, burn the skins, smoke them, get a sauce out of it. Okay? Get like a really nice soft cheese, and then some beautifully like buttery sauteed mushrooms, and then maybe some thyme and parsley on top. But I'm not thinking about it in terms of a topping. I'm thinking about it as a holistic creation. That's the kind of a pizza I want to do. I want to do a smoked onion sauce mushroom pizza. It'll be lovely. It is more than the sum of its parts. You're absolutely right. It's about building it from the ground up and being able to get something special that way. Okay? The stew is going. We're gonna give this in total, once the rice comes off, we'll give it 5 minutes and then we'll add the chicken. Because again, I really wanna make sure I'm not overcooking those chicken breasts, those tenders. I don't want them to be dry. Okay? The rice is almost done in just a minute. I can hear it sizzling. That's like the steam sort of escaping it. And then we will mix it through. I'm gonna show you the texture of the rice. Guys, again, making rice at home on a stovetop is so easy and so consistent if you know what you're doing. Many people say, oh, you need a rice cooker. Guys, I make stovetop rice that's perfect all the time. I love how rice cookers, they keep it warm throughout a day. That's really nice if you're eating it with multiple meals a day. But trust me, you do this correctly and it'll be lovely. Sis asks, what is my favorite movie? What is my favorite movie? I don't know. If I was 12, I would have answered with Spaceballs. I don't know if I've had a favorite movie since because I just don't watch a lot of movies. There isn't like a single movie that I've ever like been like, ah, this is my favorite. I love this to death. I just really liked Mel Brooks when I was younger. So I don't really know how to answer your question. That was my answer. I don't think so anymore though. Throw some pineapple or banana peppers on a pizza and I'm happy. Duolingo has my family. Duolingo's not going to be the only thing having your family, bud. I promise. If you say that again in this chat. I don't mean to threaten my lovely little Sues. That's you. You're my little Sue champ. But, tough. I'm kidding. I'm not threatening your family. I would never do that. Okay. Stew is going. It's boiling. We'll give it 5 more minutes and then we'll throw in the chicken. And then we'll finish it with the scallions and the cilantro. The potatoes are boiling. They're going. We're giving them a bit of a head start. And the rice is just about ready to come off. So I'm going to kill the heat on that. I'm going to go ahead and grab this boiling. Also, Zen Mode, thank you so much for the sub. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Very sweet of you. All right. I'm going to show you guys the rice. Look at this thing. I want you to understand. perfect stovetop rice every single time without fail. Oh, don't fog up my camera. Look at this. Perfect. Here's what you're gonna do. Anytime that you're done making rice, if you're not done, you have to let it sit. You have to mix it up and let it sit. Where is my favorite tool? I don't know who my favorite wooden spoon is lately. Anyhow, take it. You're going to just mix it through. Get all the stuff from the bottom, move it to the top. There's some crispy bits, right? Because it was on the stove. But look at this rice. Look how perfect it is. Look how granular it is. Every single time, consistently on the stove. Don't mix it when you cook it. Don't mix it, don't add too much water. And you will get perfect rice every single time. Also, Daramgar is my family. Thank you so much for the prime sub. It's very sweet of you. We now have a hype train. Hype train! Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about. Look at this rice. Look at this rice. Look how perfect it is. You can open the lid. You can. It'll be fine. If it's too wet, you should open the lid. Also, sis, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Whoa. You just got here. It's your first day here and you're being so sweet. Oh. Guys, that texture of the rice, it's perfect. But pack it back down and you're going to let this thing steam. Okay? 3 minutes. And then I'll go in with the chicken. Thank you so much, sis. You've been very, very sweet today. I really appreciate you. Okay. Let's head back to the stove. The rice is done. The salad is chilling out in the fridge. And in about 2 minutes time, we're gonna throw in that chicken. Now, if you notice there's a lot of fat floating to the top, don't worry. The potato is gonna be very functional in something like this. Once it cooks down a little bit, it's going to release just enough starch that it's going to thicken the whole thing and bring the fat back in. That's why I didn't strain out the fat before. I didn't strain it out, I didn't separate it. Okay, because it will take care of itself, I promise. You're gonna break down the starch on the outside of the potato, it's gonna come back in, and it's going to thicken everything so that the fat and the liquid can properly combine. And you'll have a beautiful soup with a lot of viscosity to it. Okay, it's gonna be nice and thick. Be nice and thick. Nothing wrong with sticky rice. Yes, Audio Murphy, but there's something wrong with overcooked rice. And there's something wrong with rice that you didn't want to be sticky. This rice, that is the perfect texture. That is exactly what I was looking for. Will I be able to fit this bowl, or will that have to be on a different wash cycle? Damn it, that's gonna be a different wash cycle. My dishwasher is all filled up. Oh well, such a tragedy. You need to get to sleep. Thank you, sis, for everything that you've done here. Sis, why'd you just come in here and say tacos are the worst food? Oh no. Oh, that's a strong opinion. Bad tacos are bad food. Have you had a good taco, sis? I know you said you were about to go to sleep. But I would like for you to justify your opinion. I know that's a lot to ask for considering you gifted subs and donated money. But I don't know. I got my eyebrow. I'm looking at you. Looking at you funny. All right, it's cooking along. It looks great. Excellent. The onions have cooked down. The potatoes are going to thicken the whole deal. It's going to be awesome. Oh, I guess you're already gone. Oh well. The salad is made. The rice is made. I've done it all. Okay. Yeah, most people when they say that, they had like really shitty like Tex-Mex tacos. And like Tex-Mex can be wonderful. I mean like bad Tex-Mex. Okay, my friends. The breasts are going in. The tenders are going in. We might even take them out if I feel like they've been cooking for too long. Because I don't want them to overcook. I don't want these things to overboil. And it's taking the rest of this lovely paste that we've made with it as well. And that is going to flavor the whole thing. Okay? I'm just scooping all of it up. I'm just scooping it up and putting it back in. I don't want to waste any of it. It's really good stuff. Beautiful. Mix it in. It's coating it. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. And now that just has to cook. That has to reduce. The potatoes have to cook so much that they begin to thicken everything. Oh, sis, no, you can't say that. Sis, I'm sorry. I don't think you can say that. Sis, you've not had a good taco. I don't think you've had a good taco. I think what you were saying right now is because you've not had a really good taco before. That's all. Yes, they are. They are. on a really good, properly made homemade tortilla, ugh, it's just night and day. They're incomparable. They're just such different products. Okay, the chicken is in, the potatoes are cooking. Everything is going exactly as planned. The only thing is, I guess these drums, these legs have kind of fallen apart, which is pretty funny. The meat is in the stew. And we want those breasts to now nicely poach. It's gonna take about 10 minutes. Gonna keep it boiling though. We wanna keep this thing boiling. Boiling, and the potatoes are gonna thicken the whole deal. Expect to fight next stream, that's right. Trust me, sis, I don't think you've had a really good taco before. A really beautiful taco, trust me, proportionate, simple. The number one rule of tacos, the number one rule of real authentic Mexican tacos is simplicity. It's 3 components, well 4. Tortilla, meat, salsa, garnish. That's it, done. This idea of, oh, you need sour cream, and you need this, and you need that, and you need a million vegetables, and you need corn and beans inside of it. Insane, crazy. A real taco is minimalistic with the number of components, but every component that was given a lot of love, and a lot of beauty, and a lot of respect. I make fantastic tacos. I make life-changing tacos. That's what I do. So that's why I took a little bit of offense to that, because tacos can be really quite beautiful. Okay. Man, I really want to eat this stew. Future gay parent asks, Chef, what are your thoughts on fish tacos? I love fish tacos. Most places don't do fish tacos too well because they get fish that they have to import and it's not necessarily local. If you're making fish tacos at home and don't live in a place that's too coastal, you're going to need to do frozen fish. I do love a good fried fish taco. I think I do get a little bit bored of the flavor palette that people do, which is when they think fish taco, they do a mayonnaise-based sauce, and they always do a cabbage slaw, and they have a fried piece of fish. I get bored of that really easily. I like other things. I like when people do other things. I love shrimp tacos as well. I don't think every fried fish taco should have cabbage and, you know, a mayo-based sauce. I think it gets a little repetitive. That's all. Yeah, when people say fish tacos, that's what they usually mean. And I'm tired of it. Well, this is boiling. It's going. And again, those breasts, we added them in solely intentionally to make sure they did not get overcooked. And the potatoes are still nice and firm, so it'll be good. And we got the rest of the chili paste, the rest of the soy sauce, the rest of the gochugaru. And I'm going to taste this in a few minutes once the chicken is cooked enough that I feel comfortable with doing so. Very insightful, Chef. Well, I'm happy to give that opinion. Okay, guys, questions, comments, concerns, anything that you want. This is your time to do it. I think I'm going to start thinking about the plating, though, at the same time. Let's start thinking about how we're going to plate all of this while the stew is finishing up. So, we have 3 components. I forgot about the chicken skin. Okay, I'm going to do that off stream. I forgot about making the chicken skin. This is a beautiful cucumber salad. Let's get that into a bowl. It's chilling out. I'm just going to pop it back into the fridge. Okay. I want a nice scoop of this. I love this cucumber salad. Beautiful. Guys, you have to make the salad. It's called Oi Muchim. O-I space M-U-C-H-I-M. It is so easy and it is perfect. It is delicious. This might be one of the best cucumber salads I've ever made. Now let's think. How am I going to plate the rest of this? I want a bowl, I want to have rice in a bowl, and also I want to have my stew in a bowl. Will I be able to fit everything on something like this, is my question. Will this look nice if they're together? This plate is too cramped. Well, I guess it kind of works, but it's at an angle, which does suck. Maybe this just works, actually. And then I'll just have the rice. You know what? No, I should have separate bowls. I'm gonna do separate bowls for everything. This is where the stew's gonna go. I'm gonna have one more bowl for the rice. I do like these bowls that I have. These bowls are really, really pretty. Maybe I could just plate them both in that. Now we'll do the stew in here and we'll do the rice in this. So the rice, I'm gonna go ahead and pack on in. Ah, excellent. Pack that rice in. Super soft. Look at that. That is the perfect texture on rice. Perfect shelf-top rice every time. I impress myself. Sorry to brag, but I do. All right, pack it in this nice little bowl of rice. We have that going, and this is where the stew is gonna go in a minute. We're just waiting for that to finish. The breast is cooked enough, I promise, for us to be able to taste the liquid. I'm gonna have this final spoon. Actually, no, I'll eat it with that spoon. Let's see how it's coming along. The chicken breast should be done in total in like 4 minutes or so. Oh, guys, that has so much flavor. That is so much flavor. And the more we mix this up, the more we'll end up breaking up these potatoes. That is gorgeous. That is really, really gorgeous. Yep, I can see the potatoes are fully tender now. We'll give this a few more minutes, and then that's gonna be done. I want those potatoes to get really tender. I want that chicken breast to be fully... Ooh, did I just splash it all over my stove? I did do that. Where's my towels? There's my towels. Doesn't that look good? I think that looks pretty good. Again, a lot of this dish is just about getting rid of excess moisture because we ended up making a stock that was a little too diluted. And that's why all of this is taking so long. Thank you for being so patient with me for this process. We no longer need these tongs. We have outgrown the use for them. Okay? And now it is time for us to ladle mix. We have a lovely ladle, we're gonna use it. And with soups like these, for me, it's always about the cooking liquid. It's less about the meat, it's always about the liquid as I've gotten older. I think people always talk about how they just want as much meat as possible. It's the cooking liquid, it's the stock, it's the broths, it's the gravies that really make it all worth living. Beautiful. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. What do you say? You say, I'm so jealous, I was supposed to meal prep today, but then woke up too late. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is tragic. I really do apologize. I'm really excited to eat. Holy shit, you guys have no idea. Nice bowl of rice to go along with it. Perfect. I'm excited to give this to my mom too. Oh, the potatoes are done as well. 2 more minutes, and then we'll pull it. Lovely. And stirring it is not totally necessary, it's just fun to do at this point. Are you guys ready to eat? Guys, questions, comments, concerns, anything else that you want to say to me, now is going to be your time to do it. Now will be your time to do it before we close out for today once we start eating. This has been a pretty long stream. We're about to hit 3 hours in. Pretty happy about this. We toughed it out. Is it stew time, chef? Says future gay parent. Oh, it will be. In about a minute. In a minute's time, I'm going to give it one last final taste. And then we'll serve. We'll plate it up. And again, the chicken breast, I mean, it is being aggressively boiled to death. You don't have to worry about it being undercooked. Okay? That I promise you. Oh, gorgeous. That is getting to where it needs to be. About a minute or two, actually, more. I want the potatoes to still break down more on the outside of it, and then it will be ready to go. It'll be perfect. I'm really excited about it. And again, the potato is like really, really functional in a dish like this, right? Because the outside of it does end up breaking down, and it thickens the whole thing. Okay, it really, really tightens it up. Otherwise, especially with the kind of a stock that we made and the fact that we cooked all of it in oil, it would result in there being like a bit of a problem. It would result in it being separated. So the potato starch that gets released is really, really important. And it's nice for the mouthfeel as well, all in one fell swoop. Okay, give it another minute or so. But yes, we have about 10 minutes of the stream left over, and then we're just gonna eat, and it'll be done with. So I'm just waiting for all that to happen now. I did slightly end up mistiming the stock, is my one regret of doing all of this. I wish I had reduced the stock more. I wish I put less water into the pressure cooker so it didn't take nearly as much time for it to like reduce down. But guess what? It's done. Let's pull it. Let's pull it now. I don't want to overcook the breast. I think this is perfect just the way it is. And now I'm going to plate it up. Wait! Oh shit, I forgot one of my essential components. Scallions and cilantro. All of it going in. Perfect. I'm going to mix it in. We only add it at the end because we don't want to destroy the herbs too much. Okay? And now we'll mix that through. Filled with that cilantro, filled with the scallions. Okay? Gonna get a big old scoop of everything now. Let's get some of the chicken, some of the broth, some of the potato. Ooh. And I'll get one more piece of meat because I want my protein. What am I feeling? Am I feeling a leg? I think I'm feeling one of these legs. That's a big portion. I don't know if I'll eat it all, but we'll see. All right, everybody, ready? I'm gonna show you the final dish. Let's head over here. In fact, I might end up eating this off stream. I just want to give this a little taste in front of all of you guys. Let's make this look nice and pretty. I have no idea. Okay. Everybody, guess what? We have officially completed the stew, the delicious dish that we have in front of us. Let's talk about everything that we've made today. So, first step, let's talk about the stew itself. This is called Dakdoritang. It also goes by another name. It is essentially stewed chicken. I did it traditionally. I worked with a whole chicken. I broke it down. I broke down a whole chicken, and I made a stock with the bones, with the wingtips, with the neck. I seared all of the meat. I seared the wings. I seared the thighs. I seared the legs. I got a bunch of really beautiful color on it. I mix it with the gochujang, with the gochugaru, with the garlic, with the black pepper, and the soy sauce. And I put it back into the pot with 4 whole onions. I poured it in the stock and I let it cook. I added potatoes and I added the breast and tenders later on so they wouldn't overcook or get too tough. Over here I have the cucumbers. The cucumbers sliced up, salted. This is muchim. This is a quintessential cucumber salad. Sliced up, salted, and drained of excess liquid so it doesn't dilute it. Soy sauce, gochugaru, more of the Korean chili flakes. Okay, sesame oil, sesame seeds, vinegar, as well as a bunch of scallions and cilantro in both. And finished off with some really beautiful white squishy rice here. Excellent. And now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a scoop of rice, and we're gonna take a scoop of that broth all together. Oh, that is so good. That is so flavorful. And the meat, because we cooked the legs for so long, look how tender that leg meat is. Cut it up with my spoon. Put it over the bowl so anything that drips down just drips into the rice and flavors it later. The potatoes are so tender. The potatoes broke down. They thickened the stew. That is beautiful. But still enough firmness that they hold up. Look at the sheen on it. You see the gloss on it. It's held together by the potato. We modified this traditional dish. We made it with chicken stock, homemade chicken stock ourselves. We used a whole chicken, so we didn't have to buy a bunch of thighs or a bunch of wings. That is perfect. That is actually just perfect. And then the breast meat and the tenders, because we added it so late, it's not overcooked. Right? We were able to respect the ingredients. We were able to respect the product. That might be the only thing I would need to not like break up with a spoon, but it still gets the job done. Come on. Off it goes. Get some rice with it. Delicious. That is wonderful. You really can't beat this. You just can't beat this. Okay. Final questions, comments, concerns before we get out of here. Anything that you guys want to say to me, and we'll find somebody for us to read. Let's see who's live. I see Umbria's. Okay, we'll say hi to Umbria. Christmas gift ideas. For a chef. A carbon steel. Oh, a sheet tray and racks. They want a sheet tray and racks. Get them some of these bad boys. Everybody needs them. Really recommend those. So that was a good question. Duolingo has my family. That makes an excellent Christmas gift. Otherwise, get them a really nice carbon steel peeler. That also works. Okay. Everybody, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of your presence. Next stream is going to be Friday, so 2 days from now, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Not Western, not Central, not European. Okay? Eastern time, 6 p.m. I'll see you all then. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching me make this lovely little stew. It was delicious. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Audio Murphy, for the donos, of course. Really, really sweet of you. Thank you for everybody that subbed. Thank you for everybody that showed up. And I will see you Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Be there or be a squirrel. And you don't want to be a squirrel.